Well, England expects, and it was a 12:30 kickoff BST that saw our best performance so far, Alvin, when we got past the Argentinians. The climate, obviously, in Denmark and England, by and large, the same. Do you think it's going to have an effect today?
I think it'll allow us to play our best football, Jim. I think it'll also allow Denmark to play their best football. You're asking about the approach to this game. I really hope Eriksson has told England to go for it in the opening 20 minutes, to really put pressure on them and to take the initiative. I think obviously having the kick-off time that later will help them to be able to pressure the game and play at the tempo that we play our best football. Let's hope it all unfolds. Let's hope that's exactly what happens.
They got a lousy record, Denmark, against sides from our Isles. Northern Ireland held them twice in the World Cup qualifying campaign, in Copenhagen and at Windsor Park. They've only ever beaten England once, and of course the Republic of Ireland beat them 3-0 in one of the pre-World Cup friendlies and just tore them apart at Lansdowne Road. From that point of view, perhaps there's little to fear, and yet you just think that the Danes, such a well-versed team unit, might be capable of pulling off a shot. On paper, they shouldn't be able to do it. We have better players in almost every area of the pitch, and we just hope that the man in the centre, Marcus Merck, has a good game today. He's best known as being the referee who didn't even book the Deportivo player who broke David Beckham's foot in that horrific challenge at Old Trafford. It was the last time that David Beckham saw it. Well, the Danes love games against England primarily because their solitary victory against us back in 1983 was the day that the Danish football historians say Danish football was reborn. Alan Simonsen scored that day 9 minutes before half-time in a game at Wembley. Morten Olsen, the current Danish coach, played that day. He was the captain and defensive pillar of the mid-80s side. But that is the only time that Denmark have ever beaten England. The Laudrup brothers have been and gone. Now it's very much a young guard. Players who aren't star names, hoping to make themselves star names in this tournament. Off and running, Denmark, red shirts, white shorts, kicking from left to right. And England in their white shirts and blue shorts. Just let the ball roll out of play, and it's going to be the first free kick of the game, taken by Danny Mills, across the edge of the penalty area for Sol Campbell. So important, the start of this game. 2 of the 3 games that England have played so far, they have started poorly, and they have to make sure that they don't invite extra pressure on themselves by doing that again today. Long ball forward from Sol Campbell, and it's shepherded by Martin Larsson, the AC Milan defender, back to Tommy Sorensen of Sunderland, who recovered from the broken nose that saw him sidelined for some of the season. Sorensen, such a good goalkeeper and one of the most highly rated, not just in the Premiership, but in the world these days. Long ball forward from him. Headed on by Gronkiar, but well away from Evisand and out of play for a throw, which should be taken by England towards the edge of their own penalty area by Danny Mills. Still only his 6th start for England today, Danny Mills, but he's been ever present so far in this tournament. Scholes just dispossessed in the midfield. Gravison and Tofting, the 2 dogs of war, how Joe Royle would have loved them in the Everton side of the mid-90s. And they bear more than a passing resemblance in every facet of their play and appearance to the Mitchell brothers from EastEnders. No doubt about that. Phil Mitchell, Stig Tofting. A lot has been written about the tragic childhood that he suffered. And certainly that, they say, has been playing on his mind. If you don't know the story that's written up in some of the papers today, it is a tragic tale which it's not appropriate for me to go into now. Here's Sol Campbell playing the ball down towards Ashley Cole. Cole pressurised quickly by Romadahl. Scholes tried to break it through the midfield and it hit Gravison. And now the ball comes down on the right-hand side of the midfield to Stig Tofting. Right-footed ball in from him, swung very deep, and it was a poor cross which David Seaman could collect on the right-hand side of his 6-yard box. Ponytail flapping in the breeze with 2 minutes gone at 0-0.
An important aspect of our game today, and our approach will be get Paul Scholes on the ball as much as possible. In the opening couple of minutes there, Paul Scholes has tried to play his way into the game. He's come short really to collect short balls off Campbell and Ferdinand, and that man Tofting is going all the way with him. He's going to make it extremely difficult for him to receive any balls today, Paul Scholes.
This is Talksport's unofficial coverage of Denmark versus England. Coverage brought to you courtesy of our Pioneer television monitors and not from the stadium, thanks to empiredirect.co.uk. The background sound comes from our studios and from the stadium. Emil Heskey chased the ball down the right-hand touchline, couldn't really control it. And it's a goal kick which will be taken by Thomas Sorensen. Heskey looking at him during the national anthems, again looked very nervous. He's got the weight of the world on his shoulders at the moment. Just needs a goal.
He needs a big performance as well. Maybe not so much a goal, but he needs to play well alongside Michael Owen. He needs to hold the ball up, bring people into play, win balls in the air, and he needs Michael Owen to get a goal just as much as himself, because then at least people will start to see that they are a partnership.
Started well against Nigeria, fell off rapidly, Emil Heskey, and was widely criticised for his performance. The Danes in possession again, deep inside their own half with Thomas Helvey. Helvey, another one of the AC Milan players who was an ever-present in the last World Cup campaign for them 4 years ago, where Denmark got to the quarters. And I remember saying at the time that betting on Denmark to beat Brazil in that game in Nantes was like putting £5 notes on the fire. They were a goal up inside 70 seconds of that game. It hasn't been such a culture start for them, and they've made the first real error. Larson heading the ball past Sorensen, and a play for an England corner.
Well, if it never starts in the first 3 or 4 minutes, isn't it, Jim? You know, nobody wants to take any chances, and I think that's an example of it there. An easy ball for Larson to deal with. Tried to knock it back to his keeper with his head, and it's gone out there for a corner. First real chance for England. Had to put some pressure on Denmark.
What we will give for an early goal. Both our goals so far in this tournament have come from set pieces. One a penalty, the other a David Beckham left wing corner, and that's what we've got now. And he swings in, his splash bolts go up deep towards the back post. Sorensen lost it. It's over the line. England are ahead inside 4 minutes of the game. Another deep David Beckham corner, and Rio Ferdinand sets up the possibility of a Samba quarter-final. The boy Rio, it could be the men from Rio that we're facing next. 1-0 to England with 5 minutes gone.
What was he doing, Sorensen? He lost the flight completely. And really, it's an own goal by Sorensen. Surely a long ball played in. He comforted Sorensen, missed the flight of it. Rio got a good contact on it, just tried to knock it across the face of the goal. He still looked like he had it, Sorensen. He caught it, it's gone over the line, and really, that's a dreadful mistake by the Danish goalkeeper. They give us a great start.
Well, he's punched it in. This is Talksport's unofficial coverage of Denmark-England. Coverage brought to you courtesy of our Pioneer television monitors and not from the stadium. Thanks to empiredirect.co.uk. The background sound comes from our studios and not from the stadium. And we're ahead inside the opening 5 minutes.
What a great start, though, Jim. I mean, you couldn't have envisaged anything happening, really. That's all down to Larson giving us a needless corner, a lovely flighted free kick, and it was the free kick and the trajectory and the pace that it was hit in that I think caught Sorensen off his guard. And really, having said that, once he'd made the first misjudgment, he followed it up with a second one. He should have actually got hold of that ball as it was headed across the goal by Rio Ferdinand.
Well, we said we needed the perfect start, and Thomas Sorensen has given it to us. Ferdinand at the far post with a header, and Sorensen falling backwards towards his line has tried to catch the ball, and all he succeeded in doing is pushing it in, and it only rolled over the line by a couple of feet, but that was enough. It was then half cleared, and Heskey whacked it into the net, but the damage had been done to Denmark, and they've got a player down receiving treatment at the moment, Thomas Helvey, who's getting some medical treatment as he tried to stop the ball going over the line. Just collided, I think, with Rio Ferdinand perhaps, but the Danish right back is down, and this has been a dreadful start for the Scandies and a fantastic start for us. Denmark 0, England 1. It's everything that you could possibly have wished for.
Well, it's a great start. What we have to do now is build on that, not let Denmark back into the game. They are a terrifically gifted side in terms of defence, and they've got the areas and the wider areas especially that they've got a real threat. We have got that start, but I think that they were claiming they had gone over the line. Seeing the replays, it had definitely gone over the line. And anyway, Emil Heskey just whacked the ball into the net, didn't he, as he come back to him, so it would have been a goal anyway. Great start. Let's build on it now, boys.
Well, the Danes have had to make a change, and Kasper Bergeland has come on to replace Thomas Helvey. So just when they thought it couldn't get any worse, a goal down, they've already lost one of their members of their back four. As Ashley Cole swings the ball in far too deep that time, and it'll be shepherded out of play for a Danish throw by Gronk on the far touchline. Berger, more of a midfielder really rather than a full-back. He's a 21-year-old on the books of PSV. He only broke into their first team this season, so very inexperienced. Bergeland winning just his 4th cap today. So the Danes, a player down and a goal down. Bergeland on to replace the stricken Thomas Helvey, who's being led away from the playing area now on a stretcher with hands above his head. 7.5 gone. Don't forget, you can win £1,000 just by listening to Talksport's unofficial World Cup coverage of Denmark against England. when the ball hits the woodwork for the first time, called the Talksport competition line. You can be £1,000 richer thanks to Sadley Exterior wood stain specialists. The number to call when the ball hits the woodwork, 0901 499 1089. That's 0901 499 1089. England leading Denmark by a goal to nil. A Thomas Sorensen own goal on 5 minutes. But the Danes in possession now with Nicholas Jensen knocking it square through the midfield area. Picked up then by Tufting. He knocks it down the right hand side for Bergeland, who's another doppelganger for the midfield dogs of war. Play for Tufting. Good passing movement by the Danes. Ashley Cole snuffed it out though, and it breaks back off him. David Seaman picks it up, and that's construed, rightly so I think, that it wasn't a deliberate back pass by Ashley Cole. But that was the first time that Denmark have really been able to break with pace, and needless to say, Rommedahl was integral in everything they did.
Well, a big part of it on our victory today, if we are going to get it, is how well Ashley Cole handles Rommedahl, because he is the one, the real threat. He's got more pace even than Gronko, who's no slouch on the other side. A big part, like I say, will be, and a big responsibility of our display today will be on his shoulders, young Ashley Cole. But what a great start, and it's a start that you would have wanted against these. This team really is a team that I think is better counter-attacking. You know, it wants to hold, it wants to be defensively strong, Denmark, and then when you actually start trying to get at them, they hit you on the break with that pace down the side. So this is something they won't have wanted. They wanted, obviously, to go a goal up and then defend and then counter-attack from there. So their game plan has gone out the window now, Jim.
Michael Owen lays the ball back for Scholes, midway inside the Danish half. Good play by Sinclair. First time ball out to Heskey. Heskey trying to run at last and just pulls the ball back towards Trevor Sinclair again. Right footed low in towards the thing on the edge of the area where Beckham crops up the inside left channel. Tips it over top. Owen just couldn't quite reach it. He was stretching, and Nicholas Jensen was marshalling him. And on the stretch, just got the toe end of his right foot to it, but knocked it into the ground, and Sorensen not even could push that one into his own net. It was comfortable for him.
We're playing some good stuff, aren't we, Jim? There's no doubt about it. You know, on this left-hand side, Trevor Sinclair's looked very lively. Good ball in from him. David Beckham had come in field just on the edge of the box centrally, cut inside and then dinked a lovely little ball over the last defender. He was alive to it, Michael Owen, but just maybe a slight too much weight on it and couldn't get any real connection on the ball to take it to goal. But
10 minutes gone. You're listening to Talksport's unofficial coverage of Denmark-England, supported by the Nationwide Building Society, proud sponsor of the England team. The Danes in possession with Ebbe Sand, right-footed ball inside the penalty area. Comes off Rommedahl, he kept it on the left-hand touchline by Gronkjaer. Not quite. And just managed to avoid falling over the hoardings on the far touchline as well. The referee's assistant indicating that in trying to retrieve the ball from Ebbe Sand, it had just crossed the white line, and it's a throw which will be taken by England. 10 minutes gone, Denmark 0, England 1. The Danes have scored in every World Cup game they've ever played. This is the 13th tie that they've played. That's some record nevertheless. England have kept 2 clean sheets in a row, only 3 in their last 10, but England have based their play around recent times, of course, on having a tight defence. You look at David Seaman's goalkeeping record, something we talk about nearly every game. He's only conceded 40 goals in 71 internationals. That is how important a 1-0 lead is. Free kick given away by Emil Heskey, and the yellow-shirted referee from Germany just says that he was backing into Martin Larsson. The replay shows that he can justifiably feel hard done by with the decision. 11 gone, 1-0 to England.
We hope it doesn't carry on like that, because he hardly moved. He just waited for the ball, and Larsson tried to win a ball that he shouldn't have been able to attempt to win, and he's ended up getting a free kick against England. And like I say, I think sometimes because of his sheer size, Heskey, he doesn't get the rub of the green in terms of the referee's decisions.
The only previous meetings in the World Cup between these two came in qualifying for the 1958 tournament. We won 4-1 in Copenhagen and 5-2 at Molineux with Tommy Taylor, one of the Busby Babes, getting a hat-trick in that game. The last time we played, we beat Denmark 1-0 in a friendly at Wembley some years ago. David Platt scored the goal, and David Seaman played, the only survivor from either side in that game, and he was winning just his 4th cap. Today his 72nd. England leading by the same scoreline, 1-0, but on the back foot as Gronkjaer brings it forward from the left-hand side and bent the ball in behind the English back line. Thomason, though, couldn't reach it, and it drifts away to safety for England. Goal kick which will be taken by David Seaman. 12 minutes gone, England a goaler, and at the moment heading for the quarters.
Right danger there, wasn't there? You know, and that was something that we've got to be careful of. Danny Mills had overlapped David Beckham. David Beckham went for one of his long balls, didn't catch it right, give the ball away. All of a sudden they had possession, and he was in advanced position there, Danny Mills, and Gronkjaer's received the ball and started running at David Beckham. dangerous ball. He didn't have to go past him because David Beckham knew he had the pace to actually run him. He dropped off and he whipped the ball across the base of our goal there, Gronka.
Now England with a chance to break after a poor ball by Gravison in the midfield. It was cleared out towards Michael Owen. Sinclair with a little give and go on the edge of the area looking for Heskey. Heskey lost it and then almost seemed to give up the chase. Realised that he might be able to get there first before the centre half and tried to just muscle him out of it down by the left-hand touchline. The England move breaks down and Nicholas Jensen can bring it forward for Denmark. Over halfway now towards Gronkier of Chelsea. We've seen a lot of the ball in these early stages. Back to Thomas Gravison. Gravison to Nicholas Jensen of Manchester City. Forward from him towards Jondal Thomason. He's muscled well off the ball though. The ball eventually played for Bergeland, can mop up the makeshift right back, gets it back to Sorensen. 13 gone, England leading Denmark by a goal to nil. Setting up a tie with the winners of Brazil against Belgium, a game that we'll be bringing you unofficial commentary of on Monday from our London studios. That's at 12:30 kickoff as well, our time. Nicholas Jensen in possession inside his own half, just brings it over halfway, finds Thomas Gravison. Gravison, all economy of effort, then arms start flailing as he just knocks the ball 5-6 yards square to his right hand side for Tufting. Tufting gets it back to Henriksen. Now Larsen, exchange of passes with Bergeland. He'll then play it forward towards Stig Tufting. England's pressure keeping Denmark inside their own half at the moment. Tufting just makes his way past a little bit of rubbish on the pitch, which is something that you don't see very often out in those stadia in the east. The ball is still inside the Danish half. It's with Rene Henriksen of Panathinaikos, who had a good Champions League campaign, but player susceptible to a pacey attacker, they reckon, something that Michael Owen will be all too aware of. Bergeland, Larsen. The Danes have strung about 15 passes together, and still England have kept them inside their own half. Now they break forward. Rommedahl trying to get it forward towards the run from midfield of Stig Tufting, but it's cut out by Ashley Cole. England trying to break quickly. The ball over the top, overhit for Emil Heskey, who has had a slow start, to be fair, with 14 gone. Hasn't really shown anything of the form that he is capable of in his Liverpool performances. And with the best part of a quarter of an hour gone, we're getting on for 20% of the way there. We lead by a goal to nil.
I think what I said early on as well, Jim, doesn't suit the Danes going a goal down. They haven't got real flair, I don't think. They've got pace in the wider areas. What England are doing is squeezing and condensing the play. They're stopping the service to the wider areas of Denmark, and I think Denmark are struggling as a consequence of that.
Now Heskey can bring the ball forward. Oh, Sorensen came out. If Heskey had been on form, you feel that he would have been able to just flight it over it for 2-0. That was everything that Emil Heskey is good at initially. Taking on the centre half, beating him for pace, muscling him out of possession on the edge of the area. Sorensen saw the danger, came out quickly. Heskey hesitated, and then the chance was lost.
Sorensen's give us one goal. He certainly stopped another one, a certain one there, and that is encouraging for England. Larsen it was who was outpaced by Heskey. He had no right to win that race. He got there before him, and as Sorensen come out, he narrowed the angle. He tried to just dink it over the top of him. When Sorensen was too good, he actually got a good connection, a good block on the ball. But if we can actually keep knocking that ball over the top of that back four of Denmark, you'd have to fancy Owen and Heskey to get some joy from it.
This is Talksport's unofficial coverage of Denmark against England. And if you're stuck in that terrible traffic jam on the M25, incidentally, I can assure you that you won't miss a kick of the action here as we bring you unofficial coverage from our London studios. If you are sitting in a traffic jam, highly frustrated at your inability to see what is going on, I can promise you that you will hear the news as it happens here. And if you're stuck, just wind down your window, tell the fella sitting next to you Talksport is the place to be. England leading Denmark by a goal to nil. This is the station where you heard that famous game. We beat Argentina, and today we'll bring you another one unofficially from London, courtesy of our Pioneer television monitors and not from the stadium, thanks to empiredirect.co.uk. The background sound also comes from our studios and not from the stadium. Denmark are in possession inside their own half. It's gone from Henriksen out towards Nicholas Jensen. Jensen able to bring the ball forward 10 yards inside the English half before flighting it forward. Look for Jondal Thomason, who's hardly had a touch so far, and it's mopped up by Ashley Cole on the edge of his own penalty area, and he gets it back to David Seaman. Only conceded 2 goals in his last 6 matches for England, David Seaman. Ball forward towards Ashley Cole, just bounced in front of him, he chested it down, and then a slightly awkward side-footed ball back towards Sol Campbell, his Arsenal teammate. Now goes out towards the right-hand side for Rio Ferdinand, who I'm sure won't be credited with that 5th-minute goal, which incidentally would be his first for England. But clearly Rio's header not going in, and Sorensen intervened and pushed it over the line for it. The ball was whacked down the left-hand touchline for England for Trevor Sinclair and then put out of play. It's a free kick, I think, which will be taken by the Danes in the right-back position for a shot by Trevor Sinclair. Couldn't be better so far with 17 minutes gone. England leading, nobody in the book, no sign of injury worries. It's dreamland, really.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is it could be a little bit better if Heskey had tinked that ball over Sorensen, because that second goal would have been lovely, wouldn't it, Jim? You know, 17 minutes gone, we've got the start that we wanted, we've got the goal in the bag, and we've had a glorious chance to make it too.
If that had been Michael Owen, you feel that his goal drought, which stands at 4 games, would definitely have been over. Heskey's worst, 1 goal in his last 15 matches for England, Emil Heskey, and as I mentioned at the time, only scored the 1 competitive goal for England, which was the 5th in that 5-1 win in Munich. His others coming in Malta and against Spain at Villa Park. Denmark bring it forward. Poor ball though by Rommedahl, which was easily mopped up by Rio Ferdinand on the edge of his penalty area. Rommedahl just scuffed it, didn't really get any pace on it, and Morten Olsen looks a very dejected man as he inspects the possible ruins of his World Cup from the touchline. Doesn't tempt fate. Tough things ball inside the penalty area, easily saved by David Seaman. You wouldn't want to be a Danish fan watching this because they have not played to their best so far. 19 gone, Denmark 0, England 1, unofficially on Talksport.
Just seen the first sign of Rommedahl's pace, and I tell you what, you've got to be a quick player to get the other side of Ashley Cole. 10 yards inside our half, he just knocked the ball inside, flipped it round the corner, and then went for the return ball. It was played in behind. And normally Ashley Cole, I'm sure, would have been first to that ball against most of the players in the world. Not Rommedahl. He got there and he whipped the ball across the face of the goal. Like you said, Rio Ferdinand defended well.
Well, they reckon he can do the 100 metres, Dennis Rommedahl, in about 10.2 seconds, something like that. And they said, what's your best time? And he said, I don't know. I've never timed myself. There's no point. I know that every left back I play against, I'm quicker than. That's all I need to know. And you can certainly see it. Ashley Cole, no slouch. But Rommedahl's got him. For pace, no doubt about that. He's got possession though. England have hardly put a foot wrong defensively so far. Rommedahl getting it back towards Bergerlund. Bergerlund 5 yards inside the England half, and he just knocks it forward for Rommedahl again. Back to Kasper Bergerlund, shaven-headed youngster inside his own half for Rennie Henriksen, and Henriksen will get it out towards Nicholas Jensen on the left-hand side, who's now establishing himself in this Danish setup. In place of the veteran Jan Heinze, who's the skipper coming into these World Cup games, but has almost certainly played his last international match for his country, one of the most experienced Danish internationals of all time, but at the age of 38. Some of his performances so far have fortunately betrayed him that he is a man approaching his 39th birthday. Ball played forward by the Danes again, and referee spotted an infringement. It's a free kick, and just looking a little bit angry, Marcus Merck. It is a free kick which will be taken by England inside, by Denmark inside the English half, but deep towards halfway. 20 gone, Denmark 0, England 1, and the free kick is taken by Tufting, and they're taking it backwards. The Danes not happy in possession, really. The ball played forward towards the edge of the penalty area. This is better from them, though, and there's a lot of space. Ashley Cole out of position. Rommedahl sends it in too deep towards the back post. Mercifully, it was a poor cross. Gronkiard chased it and tried to rescue it, but that was a worry for England, because all of a sudden Rommedahl was in possession and he had 10 yards of space.
Well, he might have had 20 yards. I can't believe it. Again, I've mentioned it before, Jim, that maybe at times Ashley Cole overcovers. He gets right in alongside his centre halves, and then the ball breaks down into the middle of the park, and then that ball out to the right hand side for Denmark. He had 20 yards there, Ramel. I can't believe he didn't run with the ball. Instead of that, he's trying a quick cross that was overhit by about 10 yards, and he's let us off the hook there.
Denmark qualified by being unbeaten in their group. They qualified ahead of the much fancied Czech Republic. They had away wins in Iceland, Malta and Bulgaria. It wasn't the hardest group in the world to get out of, but they still qualified with panache. 6 wins and 4 draws in their 10 games, scoring 22 and only conceding 6, and in that a 10-1 win against San Marino. Ball played forward by David Beckham, just knocks it back on the right hand side. Flip forward towards Heskey, right footed ball over the top with pace. This is much better from England, and Berglund couldn't really defend it. Picked up by Trevor Sinclair, left hand side of the penalty area. Options in the centre, plays it short, breaks for Owen, and we're 2-0 up. Michael Owen doubles our lead. A wonderful goal, and we really are heading for that tie with Brazil now. It has been a magnificent start, and less than a quarter of the game gone with 2 goals to the good. Brazil, bring them on.
Absolutely brilliant play. Great play by David Beckham. He was forced back. He played the ball into Nicky Butt. Good ball played forward. Great touch by Heskey. It come back again, and then the ball broke to Trevor Sinclair. He's put it in the box. Really, it was scruffy the way it came to him. Nothing scruffy about the finish. A swivel, left foot, no chance for Sorensen. 2-0 to England. Come on.
This is Talksport's unofficial coverage of Denmark against England. This coverage brought to you courtesy of our Pioneer television monitors and not from the stadium, thanks to empiredirect.co.uk. The background sound comes from our studios and not from the stadium. Denmark 0, England 2.
I don't think he's had a touch, Michael Owen, apart from that, and I was thinking as well before that David Beckham has hardly touched the ball, neither has Paul Scholes, but they were all involved in the second goal, and we've been talking about him maybe coming to the line, getting the goal that we know he's capable of getting, and having a real impact on the World Cup. That's the first sign of the real Michael Owen, isn't it? One touch with his right, swiveled on it quickly, and he didn't just hit the target, he knew exactly where that was going, right into the bottom hand corner.
What a touch from Nicky Butt, though. First time, just came to meet the ball, took the pace off it and just definitely flicked it through. Took possibly the merest hint of a deflection off one of the Danish defenders as it found Michael Owen. But Owen's first goal in 5 games for England, his 7th in his last 10 internationals, his first at this World Cup, of course, and celebrating his 40th international appearance with his 17th goal for England. First yellow card of the encounter goes to Stig Tørting. No real surprise there for a little bit of dissent show in the midfield. Denmark 0, England 2. Sorensen an own goal on 5, Owen on 22. With 2 goals up, the Danes are losing it. They're losing the game. They're losing their temper. This is fantastic.
I think they don't know what's hit them, do they really? 2-0 down, and this is just exactly what we would have wanted there. They are a side who want to sit deep. They want to defend in numbers, and they want to break in the wider areas. We got the start. A mistake by Sorensen has given us the start, and now they've got to chase the game. And the more they have to chase the game, the more brittle they look at the back, and we've punished them there again with Michael Owen.
Well, the Danes will bring the ball forward, left-hand side of the penalty area, knocked away by Scholes. This is a situation which provides a new set of problems for England, but very happy problems of that. But now 2-0 up, how do you approach the rest of the game? 65 minutes to go. And England sat on the lead to such great effect against Argentina. The Danes not comfortable in possession. I suppose just sitting back and defending even relatively deep isn't going to be too much of a problem against the Danes.
It's where you defend. I think that line that you hold, Jim, you don't want to be holding it on the edge of your penalty area. What you want to be doing is holding a line 15 yards outside of that penalty area, where there's no space for people to get the ball in over the top, but there's still not enough space for people to come and receive it, to beat and turn and run at you. That's the secret of what they do now, but also finding out the time to actually look and get the third goal, because the third goal is the one that kills the game. They get 1 goal, Denmark, they're back in it, it puts us on the back foot, and it really will be game on once again. The third goal will definitely kill them, and we've got to get the balance between the two.
Jondal Thomason on a through ball from Henriksen, cut out on the left-hand side of the penalty area by Sol Campbell, and then we've even won a throw after a poor touch in that midfield area. It goes out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the far side by Danny Mills. Well, the previous biggest game between ourselves and the Danes was the opener in the 1992 Euro Championships 10 years ago, almost to the day. 0-0 that finished in the England side that day. Keith Curle, Carlton Palmer, Alan Smith and Tony Daly. It's not been about 10 years for English football. I don't mean that in any mark of disrespect to those 4 individuals, but I think even they would admit that the current England side is better than that one of 1992.
Well, you're talking about the last 10 years. I'm looking forward to the next 10 years, Jim, and looking at some of these players with a tremendous opportunity of winning this game now. Still a lot of football to be played. Like I say, 1 goal from Denmark gets them back in it, and we can really throw it all away. So it's not over yet. We need the third goal, but when you look at some of the players now that really look to be taken to the international scene, even people like Trevor Sinclair, who also played a big part in that second goal, the ball's come to him on this left-hand side. Instead of whipping the ball in and flighting it with a lot of height, he's whipped 2 low balls along the ground, and they've been effective in the way they've actually been dealt with by the receiving player. The second one by Nicky Butt was actually flicked into the path of Michael Owen, and a tremendous finish by him.
Now though, the Danes can break quickly with Gravesen. Slide rule ball towards Eversand, who gets it onto his left foot. Scott Parson challenges and fires just wide. That was the best chance that Denmark have created so far by an absolute streak, and it just gave a little warning signal to the England men. Good ball in from Gravesen. And Ebisan turned past the initial challenge from Sol Campbell, then drove it low towards the bottom right-hand corner of the net. Seaman at full stretch might just have been beaten, but it went wide.
Well, we've talked about the class that they've got in the wider areas, but I'm sure Sand is somebody that many European managers would like to have in their club sides, and he showed it, real quality there. Good ball through to him, he stuck the ball on his right foot, cut inside Sol Campbell. Rio Ferdinand has come across, he's cut across him, and then looked like he'd done everything right in putting the ball down low to Seaman's left. But fortunately for us, it was only 6 inches wide.
Got a very good record, Ebisan. 9 goals in his 10 qualifiers, but admittedly 5 of those did come against Malta. Scored against Nigeria in the second round of the World Cup last year, a game that, the last time round, 1998, a game that the Danes won by 4 goals to 1 before they were edged out by Brazil in the quarter-finals in Nantes. And a good record for Schalke in Germany as well. Goal rate of almost exactly 1 every other game, 47 in 93 league games for Schalke, scoring the German Cup final last month. A dangerous customer. But let's not take anything away from this England performance. We lead by 2 goals to 0, and we're still inside the first half hour. Space though for Romadal on the right-hand side, which is something that England do have to address. He just brings the ball into a more central position. Thankfully, Romadal's service has been poor so far. England able to squeeze the play up towards halfway as the Danes go backwards again. They've shown a great tendency to do that, and not to good effect. The good play by Gravesen wins possession back on the near side from Trevor Sinclair. Played then out towards the Danish left for Nicholas Jensen. Jensen able to bring the ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Left-footed ball in, and he got it between the 2 centre-halves easily enough, but the 2 Danish strikers ran one way, one the other, and David Seaman said thank you very much. 29 gone. Denmark 0, England 2, and we're heading through.
And the rain's coming down now. I can see the pictures here, and the rain is coming down. That will help us, I think, because it will really make it a nice quick pitch for us to move that ball about on. But only half an hour gone, and there's still a long way to go. But I must say that as a back four, at this moment in time, we do look particularly solid. Ashley Cole, Danny Mills are doing good jobs on the wide people, and Sol Campbell and Rio Ferdinand really know what each other's game's all about now, and they look tremendously solid in the heart of our defence.
You're listening to Talksport's unofficial coverage of Denmark against England, supported by the Nationwide Building Society, proud sponsor of the England team. It's a proud day so far. You'd take, at this stage of the competition, it goes without saying, the scruffiest 1-0 victory. But if you can win with a wee bit of panache, players playing themselves into form, Michael Owen getting the goal that he so badly needed, you felt, just take a little bit of weight off his shoulders. His first in 5 internationals since he found the net in our warm-up game against South Korea. And it's been a great first 30 minutes. The 30 minutes now upon us. Denmark 0, England 2. Ball play forward by Sorensen, outside penalty area. Now on the right-hand side of the Danish back line, it's swung forward by Martin Larsen. Gravesen having to get forward and attack much more than his natural game dictates. Gets the ball out towards Romadal. His cross, headed away by the top of Danny Mills' bold Payton. It was a good defensive header. Picked up though by Gronkjaer on the Danish left. Back to Nicholas Jensen. Jensen square to his right-hand side for Thomas Gravesen, whose chip ball delivered down towards Dennis Romadal finds him after one bounce. Romadal just drops his shoulder. Low centre of gravity. Shirt outside his shorts in typical winger's style and just move the ball across the midfield line again. Now Nicholas Jensen has it. Ball in towards the edge of the area. Rio Ferdinand's able to step up from the defensive line and get that one away. And Nicky Butt, the incisive touch from Michael Owen's goal, just gets it forward towards Emil Heskey. Heskey, though, has been poor so far, and again couldn't really make anything of that. The Danes will win it back. They probably had the majority of possession, certainly in the last 8-9 minutes since they went 2-0 down. Here's their substitute, Kasper Bergelen. Bergelen back through the midfield. The ball intended for Jondal Thomason, who's hardly had a touch so far, was overhit by Stig Tufting, and it rolls through towards David Seaman. 31 gone. Denmark 0, England 2.
Well, we've got to keep possession of the ball better than we are doing at the moment, but I'm always happy when Gravesen and Tufting has got the ball in the central midfield area, because they don't, I don't think, have got any real quality with their penetration in terms of passing. When they get the ball wide, Romadal is somebody we have to give respect, and even Gronkjaer on that left-hand side. But when they've got it in central midfield, I'm more than happy as an Englishman watching this game.
Well, the Danes hoping to set up a revenge quarter-final against Brazil after that 3-2 defeat 4 years ago in Nantes. Only 10 years ago that they were European champions. But the last 10 years, well, they may have been kind to the progression of English football. They haven't been to Danish football. They have got some good young players coming through now, the likes of Romadal. But having said that, this tournament, just coming at a bad time for them. Here's David Beckham, right hand side, great ball in, Heskey attacks it near post, and it rolled away off Henriksen's feet, and Sorensen could gratefully pounce on it inside his 6-yard box.
That's the first cross in any dangerous area from David Beckham. What a wonderful ball by Rio Ferdinand, played down the outside of our right hand side flank. He's got the ball, he hasn't even bothered touching it. He's played an early ball on the half volley with the inside of his right foot. Great ball, just couldn't get on the end of it, could he, Heskey?
Referee allows an advantage to be played after a foul on Thomason in the Danish midfield. Right-footed ball chipped down towards Kasper Berglund. Berglund will control it on his right foot and then brings it down. A little bit of juggling. Gets it past Sinclair by knocking it square towards Thomas Gravesen. Gravesen, whose first international goals came within about 5 minutes of each other. Terrific long-range strike against Iceland, followed by another goal in the same game. But it's hard to look down their side and see a prolific international scorer, notwithstanding the fact that Thompson scored in every game so far. He made the run forward, which was thwarted by Sol Campbell, who's having a good performance, his 50th game for England. Headed away. Now to be brought down by the Danes once more inside their own half. Forward from Martin Larsen. In towards Thomas Gravesen. Gravesen rolls it across the halfway line towards Berglund. Berglund will get it forward. Tuffed in with a first time ball. Ramadan tries to take on Ashley Cole. Nudged it one side of him, tried to run the other. Cole did well to recover. The newly shaven-headed Arsenal defender gets it back to David Seaman, who's anything but. And his ball forward into halfway will be picked up by the Danes once more. Still they're having the possession. Jesper Grønkjær back over halfway to Nicholas Jensen. Jensen. Exchange of passes between him and René Henriksen. Forward over halfway. Gravesen. Thomason dropping a little bit deeper for it. Just lays it off the former Newcastle man. Down towards Kasper Berglund again on the right-hand side. Chipped in towards the edge of the penalty area. Chested down though by Sol Campbell. And again, England can't really do anything with it. As soon as Campbell had it, he had a little bit of time. Could have tried to find a man, just whacked it to safety and it came straight back. It hasn't been the world's greatest 10 minutes for England since we went 2-0 up, but he'd rather have a poor 10 minutes and be 2-0 up than be the Danes.
I always say it's a poor 10 minutes. It's not defensively, is it, Jim? It's just really offensively. We're not keeping the ball. We're not giving any service into Heskey or Owen, and they are taking their control off possession. But having said that, they don't look dangerous. They've only had one moment, really, when they broke after we committed too many people forward, and then Sands showed a flash of maybe his quality. Apart from that, they've been poor, I think, Denmark.
England, 2 goals for the good. Trevor Sinclair, who had a big part to play in that second goal, just tries to get forward. And it's a free kick which will be taken by the Danes. Just wonder, with right back Thomas Helvey off the pitch injured for Denmark, and Berglund, the midfielder, on to replace him as a makeshift right back, how much effect that had as Sinclair found himself a little bit of space in that area to get the ball across for England's second goal. Not that it matters. Sorensen with their own goal on 5. Owen on 22. Denmark 0, England 2, and the pictures show the rain coming down with increased ferocity. Apparently it's even a little bit of hail in there. Our man out there in Nagata tells us. David Seaman to take this free kick. This is Talksport's unofficial coverage of Denmark-England, brought to you courtesy of our Pioneer television monitors and not from the stadium, thanks to empiredirect.co.uk. The background sound comes from our studios and not from the stadium. The ball headed out of play. It's a throw which will be taken by the Danes midway inside their own half in the final 10 minutes of the first 45 minutes, which has been very, very good for England. 2 up.
Very good. 2-0 up, and the goal for Michael Owen, I think the scorer is a big plus for us as well. That'll do Michael Owen the power of good, because the pressure that young man's got on his shoulders every time he goes 2 or 3 games without a goal grows and grows. He's able to live with it, but now he's got the goal, he'll feel a lot better in himself.
Nicholas Jensen inside his own half. Chip ball down towards Dennis Ramadan on the right hand side, and again he tries just to get past Ashley Cole without a great deal of subtlety. Brings it down, almost shows him the eyes, shows him exactly what he's going to do with it. Whacks it one side, and Cole cut it out, and England this time win a free kick. The players looking absolutely drenched, but so far so good. Denmark 0, England 2. Tomorrow here on Talksport, unofficial coverage of Spain against the Republic of Ireland. I just got a sneaking suspicion it's going to be a great day for the men in emerald green tomorrow. Find out here on official coverage from our London studios on Talksport. The referee again blows his whistle. It's a free kick which will be throw which will be taken over on the Danish left-hand touchline with 8 minutes to go to half-time. Alvin Martin.
Well, look at the pictures here. It's lashing down, isn't it, out there? And it really is. It's a monsoon at the moment. But England looking well in control. It is skidding around the ball. We've just got to get possession of the ball better. Get it out to Beckham. Maybe Paul Scholes. I'd like to see more of him on the ball at the moment. We are doing most of our work. Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes, Trevor Sinclair and David Beckham at the moment in a defensive mode. We're stopping them playing or getting into any real dangerous areas. When I'd like to see us obviously doing that, but when we do get the ball, maybe looking to be a little bit more penetrative with Arsenal as well.
Well, we've been knocked out of the World Cup at this stage in 2 of the last 4 tournaments. It's not looking likely this time though. Romadal, as he plays the ball in, again taking on Ashley Cole, got some space. He's got plenty of pace, no doubt about that. He got the ball in towards Eversand, and the defensive marking on Sand was very impressive in the centre and stopped him getting a decent shot on goal. He dragged it well wide.
I've never ever seen that, Jim. The pictures that I'm seeing here now of Ashley Cole trying to get back in against Romadal. I'm not making any ground up on him. In fact, Romadal's going away from him. Lots of space there for him to run into, and that's something we've got to be careful of. You don't give Romadal 30 or 40 yards of space and let him run into anyone, because if he can take Ashley Cole on for pace, he can take anybody in that England back four on for pace.
Trevor Sinclair's left boot has come off. Stick Tupting has just handed it to him so that he can try and unpick the knot, which those laces being all horrible and wet, that's going to be a difficult job. Might take him towards half-time to do that. So Trevor Sinclair is just playing with one boot in one hand and one on his right foot. Nicky Butt's gone down in the midfield. Play will continue with the Danes in possession, left-hand side. Dangerous moment this for England. Ball in towards the near post. Did it take a deflection? The referee has said yes, it is a corner. The first that Denmark have won on their left-hand side.
Well, it was an awkward challenge in the midfield area there, and I can see Nicky Butt limping back here to mark up from this corner. But they are obviously getting lots of possession, Denmark. I just hope that the rain doesn't continue to come down, because if it does like this, surely it's going to play a big part in the way the game goes in terms of the ball moving.
In comes the corner, plenty of whip on it from Thomas Gravesen. The first England defender went to head it and completely missed it. It was volleyed to safety, but Marcus Merck spotted an infringement. It's a free kick to England inside the penalty area with 6 minutes to go to half-time. And Robbie Fowler just looked for a moment as though he was poised to come on for England. With 5.5 minutes to go, he's just taken the tracksuit top off in this weather, or the weather that they got out there. You certainly don't want to do that unless there's a real need for it. So it'll be interesting to see if Fowler does come on in a few moments' time. Denmark 0, England 2. The Danes in possession. Get it out towards the hand side again. Looking for Gronkjaer. Danny Mills has stopped him and then comes away with the ball. Good play by Danny Mills. Lays it back over halfway to Nicky Butt, who's shown no ill effects of that challenge that he picked up in the midfield a couple of moments ago. Long ball forward from England, headed away by the Danes and played by Romadal down towards halfway for Bergeland. Romadal then takes control again, and the PSV Eindhoven winger just takes it off the boot of his club teammate, brings it into a central position, but another move breaks down. High ball over the top from Scholes, chased by Heskey, but it whips off the surface, having taken a bounce, and zips back towards Thomas Sorensen. Could be Heskey that would make way for Robbie Farah, don't know. 5 minutes to go till half-time. Denmark 0, England 2. Romadal gives chase again, and he's got an awful lot of work to do. He's done well, he's kept it in, gets inside the penalty area. The England defence backpedaling, eventually cleared on the second ball by Danny Mills after Rio Ferdinand's initial touch. The Danes maintain possession, but they're well back towards halfway. Bergeland's ball hit far too hard for Gravesen, but he managed to deflect it into the path of Nicholas Jensen on the left-hand side. Jensen plays it forward at the inside left channel, then laid by Thomason out towards Gronkjaer. Gronkjaer onto his right boot. Just a flick ball towards the bottom left-hand corner of the area, and Rio Ferdinand's been done inside the penalty area. Thomason tries to put it back across. Sinclair just on the hard body manages to scuff it away. Rio Ferdinand's first mistake of the tournament, right-hand side of the penalty area. Still Denmark have it. Romadal tries to get the ball in, and all they've got to show for that is a throw.
Well, he got tricked in on that left-hand side of the penalty area, and all of a sudden he threw on the byline. They couldn't pick a red shirt out in there, thankfully, and there was good defending again by Trevor Sinclair, Ashley Cole and Sol Campbell, all marking up there after Rio's mistake.
Turfdick with the throw into the midfield for Bergeland, and again when they pick up possession, a number of times Denmark have hurriedly played the ball back behind square, which suits England game, able to push out and harry, but again it's pinged forward towards Romadal, who had space and time to control it. The quality of passing from Denmark has been impressive in getting the ball particularly out towards Romadal. They've hit him much more often than not. Bergeland back into the midfield, and here's Rennie Henriksen for Denmark.
I'd like to see half-time come now. Must be starting to lose our way slightly in terms of what we're actually trying to achieve. We've got to 2-goal start. We're starting to mark a little deeper. There's a little bit more space starting to creep into the wider areas. Kroenke's getting a lot more of the ball. Ramadan is starting to book crosses into our box, and I'm sure Eriksson will want to get them into the dressing room, calm them down, say, right now, this is what we're going to do. We're 2-0 up. We're going to hold our defensive line here, but when we've got the ball, we must be better with it. We can actually hit them and get that third goal, but we've got to be more composed and think about what we're trying to do when we actually break down attacks.
Well, Jesper Kroenke was just feeling his left knee there. Did have major knee surgery in the autumn, of course. He was once described by his boss at Ajax, Co-Adriaanse, as being so weak he could get injured lifting a glass of milk. He's injury prone, to put it mildly, Jesper Kroenke, but is going to be able to continue. They've got a natural replacement for him, Martin Jönsson, the Udinese winger, who scored that early goal against Brazil in the quarter-finals of the last World Cup. But as things stand at the moment, they won't be having a quarter-final against Brazil in this World Cup. Denmark 0, England 2. The Danes in possession, inside the England half, back towards Kasper Bergelen. Bergelen down towards the right-hand side for Dennis Rommedahl. Rommedahl tries to get it past Ashley Cole, laid back by England's Trevor Sinclair, and they're able to take control of the midfield again with Scholes finding Button, then getting a quick return. Then he just dallied on it a little bit, Paul Scholes, and chipped it inch perfect over halfway to Trevor Sinclair. Owen drops deep. Sinclair then plays a long one over the top for Emil Heskey, but he was caught offside. 90 seconds to go to the break. It's Denmark 0, England 2. Unofficial coverage brought to you from our TV monitors here in London on Talksport. Right hand side, Kasper Bergelen knocks the ball square to his left. Graversen receives it from Tufting. Possession, Denmark more than 60% of the possession so far, but for all of that, only one shot that's worried David Seaman.
Yeah, I think that's down to the defensive line that we've held, well organised. Like I say, I'd like to see us playing a little bit better with the ball.
Now Heskey with a chance for 3-0! Brilliant goal! Emil Heskey drives it with pace past Sorensen into the bottom right-hand corner. What a sensational first half for England! Denmark 0, England 3, and this World Cup, as wide open as it is there for the taking for Sven's men. Even Emil Heskey's in on the act now.
The word that comes to mind is impressive, mightily impressive at that as well. It was a ball that wasn't dealt with for them. The ball's actually been thrown in. It's dropped to David Beckham. He picked out a lovely, easy ball, but it had the right weight on it. He was saying, Emil, keep that ball down and hit the target. Well, he kept it down. He went for power, and I think Sorensen will be a bit disappointed. He hasn't done better with that again. It's down low to his left. He should have actually stopped it. The power, I think, surprised him, and the actual pitch has helped the pace of the ball go past him.
This is Talksport's unofficial coverage of Denmark-England, brought to you courtesy of our Pioneer television monitors and not from the stadium, thanks to empiredirect.co.uk. The background sound comes from our studios and not from the stadium, and we are 3-0 up before half-time.
2 minutes ago I was saying I'd be happy to go in 2-0 up so we can sit them down and talk about what they're going to do in the second half. Now he won't be bothered. The third goal was the one. That's the important goal anyone wants to get. He's got it, and now hopefully his side will get more and more confidence as this game goes on, and they can actually enjoy it, because even playing a World Cup, Jim, it's great. You don't often get the chance to enjoy your games. The 3 goals you do.
Well, the Danes will end this first half with a corner on the right wing taken by Tufting, headed away well by Rio Ferdinand. Hit a break much nearer halfway than the edge of the penalty area for one of the red-shirted Danish defenders, Henriksen, and then a long-range shot from distance, which David Seaman saw from a long way off. It was a typical Graversen 35-yard thunderbolt that Seaman just had to get his gloves to it and help it on its way over the bar.
Well, it was a good strike, but I think more than anything what caused David Seaman a problem there was it was coming through a body of players, and he's seen it fairly late, didn't take any chances and parried it over the bar.
Tufting with Denmark's third corner, deeper one this time, too deep. Thomason attacked it, went over his head, so too Henriksen, and as the ball is driven in from the left-hand side of the penalty area, Marcus Merck says that'll do. Half-time, Denmark 0, England 3, the half-time score. What a day.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've had some good moments, I think, over the last 3 or 4 years. I think especially since Eriksson's come in, we've had some good performances, but it doesn't get much better than this. When you think about what's at stake, how big this game is, Emil Heskey, I'm so pleased with him. As I'm seeing him walk up the pitch, he's getting high fives from a few of the players. It's not just the scoreline, it's the goal scorers. All right, the first one Sorensen should have done better with now, but say that was an own goal. But Heskey and Owen, 2 great strikes for England, 3-0 lead. You couldn't have asked for any more from that team in the first 45 minutes.
Neither has been particularly on top of his game during the 3 matches been played in World Cup 2002 so far, but both have scored in this one. Michael Owen's 17th goal for his country, and also his 35th goal for club and country since the start of this season. Emil Heskey, only his second competitive goal for England, his second in 16 internationals, his last 16, his fourth all told. But the statistics don't really tell the story. All you need to know is that we're playing Brazil on Friday, a 7:30 kickoff BST. We surely can't throw it away from here. Half-time on Talksport's unofficial coverage of Denmark against England, courtesy of our Pioneer television monitors and not from the stadium, thanks to empiredirect.co.uk. The background sound comes from our studios and not from the stadium. Listen up! Denmark 0, England 3, half-time.
Unofficial World Cup coverage on Talksport, supported by Nationwide Building Society.
Get it!
The proud sponsor of the England football team.
Up steps the captain, right-footed, goes for goal! Oh, yes! 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 The gods are smiling on us this afternoon!
Oh, someone's crying out for Hall Soothers. Your throat feels smoother when you suck a soother.
This summer, kick off the World Cup with a special kick-off breakfast at Little Chef. Throughout the World Cup, we'll be screening the games live from 7 a.m. As well as a special breakfast deal, there are also some great football rewards to collect. So from Sapporo to Solihull, from Osaka to Oldham, catch the magic of the World Cup live from 7 a.m. at Little Chef. This summer, forget the big centre forwards. The one to watch is the Little Chef. Only at participating restaurants.
Unofficial World Cup coverage on Talksport, supported by Nationwide Building Society. The proud sponsor of the England football team.
Football First World Cup 2002 on Talksport.
David Beckham left wing corner, and that's what we've got now. And he swings it in, splash bobs go up, near towards the post. Sorensen lost it, it's over the line. England are ahead, inside 4 minutes of the game. Another deep David Beckham corner, and Rio Ferdinand sets up the possibility of a Samba quarter-final. The boy Rio, it could be the men from Rio that we're facing next. 1-0 to England with 5 minutes gone. Trevor Sinclair, left-hand side of the penalty area. Options in the centre, plays it short, breaks for Owen, and we're 2-0 up. Michael Owen doubles our lead. A wonderful goal, and we really are heading for that tie with Brazil now. It has been a magnificent start, and less than a quarter of the game gone with 2 goals to the good. Brazil, bring them on. Now Heskey with a chance for 3-0. Brilliant goal! Emil Heskey drives it with pace past Sorensen into the bottom right-hand corner. What a sensational first half for England! Denmark 0, England 3, and this World Cup, as wide open as it is there for the taking for Sven's men. Even Emil Heskey's in on the act now.
Football First with Jim Proudfoot and Alvin Martin.
Pinch me, I might be dreaming. Denmark 0, England 3 at half-time. You and I were having a chat this morning as we had our customary coffee about Thomas Sorensen, and I was saying I think he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world at the moment. Well, he's punched one into his net, and he should surely have kept that Heskey shot out. He got both hands to it, and it slipped under his left armpit and in. I'm happy to be proved wrong. Sorensen, if that had been David Seaman, we might only have been 1-0 up.
I think you can't explain certain things that happen to you as a pro, Jim. You really can't. On a certain day, you know, you'll look at the tape and you'll think, what on earth was I doing? Why didn't I get both hands on that? It is a difficult surface for the goalkeepers. I think any shot hit now, the water's on the ball is going to be a problem to deal with. But he knows, with Rio's header, he should have held on to it. And he would also know with the third goal with Emil Heskey, although Emil hit it very well, he should have got both hands on it, and he should have at least parried it away from the goal.
Well, let's get all the half-time odds now on Blue SQ.
The pundit's choice on Talksport with BlueSQ.com. Online and telephone betting 0800 587 0200.
Our gambling guru Ed Pownell's on the line. Ed, you've done your money by half-time, but I'm delighted to say it's because we've been even better than you thought.
Well, exactly. I went for 2-0 and we're already 3-0 up, so that's fantastic. You can get 1 for 16 if you want it, England, or 25 Denmark. I think on the handicap at the moment we're betting now, it's so big. Denmark with 3-goal lead at 13-8, and England -3 goals at 13-8. I think I'm going to back England on the handicap -3 to get some more. I don't see why we wouldn't bring some fresh legs on and have some fun.
What does it mean in terms of the market for the World Cup as a whole? Presumably there's no change as yet. Is the betting on England suspended until full time in this game, or can punters still get a shade of 11-2 now?
There won't be any 11-2 now, and you won't see it ever again, I don't think, to be honest. I mean, if it's 3-0 or 4-0 or better, I mean, we've got to go just behind Brazil as second favourites, I would say. I mean, this is emphatic stuff. Germany only just got away with it, so they'll drift. And England will be, as I say, second favourites. Okay,
Ed, thank you very much. More from Ed later on here on Talksport. Let's go up to Liverpool now and catch up with a couple of the members of that great Everton side of the 80s and 90s. Gary Stevens and Ian Snowden speaking to us from the Coubertin's bar in Liverpool. Hello, fellas.
Good afternoon.
Gary, first, can you believe what you're watching? It's absolutely sensational.
It's fantastic. It certainly is, yeah. 3-0 up at half-time. You'd expect the game to be all over with, but we've seen already Senegal almost go away, 3-goal lead, but we're too strong defensively to do that.
Ramadali, Siko was quick, you were very quick. Tell you what, Ramadali's quicker than both of you.
I think so. It's been a tremendous tussle down there on Denmark's right. At the moment, you've got to say that Ramadal's probably winning that particular battle, but at the end of the day, winning the war 3-0. Fantastic.
Ian, what about the two central midfield players, Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes? Most of what they've done today has been defensive, hasn't it? We've given them possession of the ball, really, but we've never looked like they can find a way through us. I said in our commentary here that maybe central midfield is not where they've got to kill a ball. Gravison and Tufton are workman-like, aren't they? But they haven't got the guile, maybe, to supply anything through for the forwards.
Yeah, that's right. They've just sat back, really, England, because they know that Denmark, they've had a lot of possession, but they've not really, as you said, they've not really hit the killer ball or anything. And I don't think they can frighten us in that department. So I think it's important that when we do get the ball, we keep it a little bit better. But this is beyond our wildest dreams. 3-0 at half-time. I don't think nobody in England expected this.
What about the second half? Obviously, you've got the 3 goals. You want to obviously be able to enjoy your football now. It's important that they start off the second half in the right vein and take the game to Denmark, start off brightly. What do you think Eriksson will be saying to him in the team talk at half-time?
Well, I think he'll be saying the first 10-15 minutes, just keep solid, just keep rigid 4-4-2. Don't let them break you down in any way, shape or form. And it'll be a comfortable victory. But it's important, the first 10 or 15 minutes, just stay solid and don't give them a sniff of goal.
Thanks, fellas. Thanks for your thoughts. Gary Stevens and Ian Snodin, 2 Everton greats, telling you what they made of the first 45 minutes. Denmark 0, England 3. England's cricketers in action as well, hoping to try and replicate the magnificence of the football team. Jeff Boycott, what's the latest?
England had a good morning. They scored 51 runs. Play started an hour late. They had to dry up all the outfield and everything. They lost 1 wicket. Alex Tudor driving, caught at second slip to the left arm of Vars. He made a squeaky sort of 19. And then basically it's been Alex Stewart, who's gone on to make 78 not out. Played some handsome shots today, a lot better than he did yesterday. Giles is 16 not out, and we're still doing well now, 428 for 7.
OK, thanks, Jeff. 428 for 7, England. And England 3 up against Denmark. The second half from our London studios coming next on Talksport. Dare you tune away now. It's party time.
Unofficial World Cup coverage on Talksport, supported by Nationwide Building Society. The proud sponsor of the England football team.
There's something I've been meaning to talk to you about, old gal.
Really?
Yes. The fact is, we need to make some economies. And it occurred to me that if you could learn to cook, we could do without the maid.
I see. Well, yes, perhaps we could.
Oh, excellent. I thought you'd be upset, sweetie.
No, it's a good idea. And I think we could make even greater economies. If you could learn how to make love, we could do without the chauffeur.
Happiness is a cigar called Hamlet. A mild cigar.
Up steps the captain, right-footed, just the goal! Oh, yes! 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 The gods are smiling on us this afternoon!
Oh, someone's crying out for Hall Soothers. Your throat feels smoother when you suck a soother.
Unofficial World Cup coverage on Talksport. Supported by Nationwide Building Society. The proud sponsor of the England football team.
Full unofficial coverage of World Cup 2002 on Talksport.
Alvin's just said to me, when was the last time England were 3-0 up in a game in the World Cup? So I had a look, and it was the one World Cup game you played in, wasn't it? Nice of you to throw that in.
I think what is important is that nil stays intact, Jim. You know, in the second half, you don't want to let them get back into the game. If they get one goal, I think obviously it's still a mountain for them to climb, but it will actually give them a real lift. So it's important that we start off in that first 10 minutes. And if we're to come out with a clean sheet today, whatever, even if we don't add to the scoreline, Heskey and Owen have got their goals. We're through. We can face Brazil in a real magnificent frame of mind. It's been a terrific performance. I think there's an intelligence about the way we play, Jim. You know, I think now we've got two centre halves and two full-backs who are one tight unit. I think possibly keep the ball better than we did in the first half. But you'd have to say that we are a very, very difficult team to play against.
Don't forget, you can win £1,000 if the ball hits the woodwork in the second half, thanks to Saddling Woodstain, the exterior woodstain specialists. If it happens, call us on 0901 499 1089. The grand could be yours, 0901 499 1089. Well, if England do end up playing Brazil, and it seems very likely, whoever they end up playing, the quarter-final will be England's 50th World Cup game. This obviously then our 49th. Worth pointing out, we've never scored 4 in the regulation 90 minutes in a World Cup tie that we've played in history. The last time we scored 4, some of the crowd were on the pitch. Also did it in 1954, a 4-4 draw, funnily enough, with Belgium. And Ivor Brodis, the former Carlisle and Newcastle man, got a couple that day back in the first round of the World Cup held in Switzerland some 48 years ago. But if we were to win this 4-0, say, that would be the biggest ever England World Cup victory. What a fillip ahead of the last 8.
Well, you know, there's lots of pressure. It's the biggest competition you'll ever play in, and you want to do well, and it can make or break players' reputations. I dare say that Sorensen today will be feeling that. You know, he's had a very good tournament up to this stage, but now everybody, Englishman throughout the rest of his life, will be reminding him of that game, and that's what it can do to you. But it's not very often, as a pro, as an England player, you get the opportunity to totally enjoy 45 minutes of football, and they've got the opportunity to do that. I think the first 5, 7, 8, 10 minutes maybe, if they start off in the right vein, they offer nothing to Denmark. Then gradually, as the half rolls on, they've got a chance of nicking the fourth, and if they do nick the fourth, then obviously it's totally enjoyable. But it can never be set up better than it is for the England players at the moment.
That's the one thing about Germany. I know they were decidedly scruffy against Paraguay today. Needed an 88th minute winner from a man born in Switzerland to get them through. But the fact they came into this tournament and everybody was saying, oh, they're not great. But because they beat Saudi Arabia by a cricket score in the first game, they did start believing in themselves, and that is what this can do.
Well, self-belief in anything, in any sport, in life is so important. But when you've got, you know, a team of people, and I think self-belief throughout the unit is important, because it's no good having half a unit there functioning, the other half not. But I think that's why it's so important for Heskey and Owen to get on the score sheet today. They were two players that needed a lift, I think, individually. We know that Heskey is a strong character. They've both got the goals, and now hopefully that will get a few people off their back, and I think that's important.
One booking in the first half, Stig Tufting of Denmark for descent. They lost Thomas Helvey in the very early stages in the aftermath of our first goal. Went off through injury, and Kasper Berglund came on to replace him, and has looked a little bit green in that right back role, which he's not used to. England 3 goals up. Thomas Sorensen punching into his own net on 5 minutes. A David Beckham corner headed at the far post by Rio Ferdinand and pushed in by Sorensen. Heskey then saw an effort saved as he was through on goal. A wonderful ball. He muscled Martin Larsson out of possession. Sorensen came out quickly and denied Emil Heskey. Trevor Sinclair midway through the first half rifled the ball in from the left-hand side, flicked on by Nicky Butt from Michael Owen, and a minute before half-time, Beckham's right-wing cross pushed into the net wonderfully by Emil Heskey. A first-time shot into the bottom right-hand corner. England have made a change at half-time, and Robbie Fowler has come on to replace Michael Owen.
Yeah, I don't know where, what the thinking is behind that. Obviously, Michael's got his goal. Didn't see too much of him apart from getting the goal, did we? Heskey's got his goal, but maybe he feels that Heskey can hold the ball up and bring other people into play. I know what I would be saying to them at half-time. Look, you're 3-0 up. Don't sit back. There's two ways of actually defending. You sit back with a bank of four and a bank of four in that, and you look to contain the opposition. I would be saying to them, look, get at them, squeeze it and condense the play. You've got Campbell and Rio Ferdinand at the back with their pace. Ashley Cole with his and Danny Mills. Squeeze the ball, don't let them get into the wider areas, and look to get the fourth goal. I think it's important in the first 10 minutes that you pressure the ball wherever it is.
England, 3 goals to the good. As we wait for the start of the second half, this is Talksport's unofficial coverage of Denmark against England, brought to you courtesy of our Pioneer television monitors and not from the stadium. Thanks to empiredirect.co.uk, the background sound comes from our studios and not from the stadium. Jim Proudfoot and England's former World Cup defender Alvin Martin talking you through the action, and what good action it's been so far. Denmark 0, England 3. Robbie Fowler coming on, another man who's only scored 1 competitive goal for England. That came against Albania the same week as we stuck 5 past the Germans in Munich. Yet to complete a full 90 minutes under Sven-Göran Eriksson and start any of the 6 friendlies since the World Cup qualifiers finished. But Robbie Fowler, it's 45 minutes today. Marcus Merck has spotted an infringement. The German referee giving a free kick to Denmark, which they will take on the left-hand side. Just about 5 yards in from the left-hand touchline, and similar distance, maybe a little bit more inside the English half. Nicholas Jensen prepares to take it. Left-footed ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Drifts over the head of Sol Campbell, who has dealt with the threat of Ebisand and Yondal Thomason well so far, but a defensive miscue has brought Ramadan in right side of the penalty area, pulls him out behind Sand, and then a left-footed shot well over the bar. Shocking effort from Gronkia, but if that had gone in, it could have been game on again. The nerves would have been there. Mercifully, he missed by about 10 yards.
Well, Ashley Cole has got a ball on the left-hand side of our penalty area. He's given it to Paul Scholes and said, yeah, Paul, here's have an early touch in the second half. He's tried to give a ball back to him, and you don't take a chance there. He got it nicked off him by Ramadal, and Ramadal has, instead of actually taking on that last defender, has whipped the ball across the edge of the penalty area, and he should have at least kept the ball down, shouldn't he? It was a hard ball to hit with his left foot, but he should have done better there, Gronkia.
Yes, but Gronkia missing arguably the best chance that Denmark have created. Eversand had a more difficult effort, much closer to goal in the first half. Here's Emil Heskey on the right-hand side. Great ball in! Oh, so nearly 4! Attacked on the edge of the 6-yard box by Robbie Fowler, and Bergeland was there just to get a touch on the ball and steer it wide of his own goal for a corner. But when England break forward with pace, the Danes just have no answer to it.
Great play by Emil Heskey. He really has forced the issue down that right-hand side and whipped a beautiful ball low and hard across the face of the goal. Good defending there by Dane.
Beckham to take the corner on the right-hand side for England. Out comes Sorensen. That was a little bit messy from him. He got the fingers of his right hand to it to push it away, help it on its way, really. Not enough of a touch, and Denmark will pick it up, but over on their right-hand touchline with Ramadan knocking it forward. Back to Bergeland. Bergeland out to the right-hand touchline where Tupting plays it forward. Rio Ferdinand, no-nonsense style, just knocks the ball away from Thomason on the edge of the penalty area. Expense of a throw. 3 minutes gone in the second half. Real decent chance at either end in the opening 3 minutes of this second period. Paul Scholes is coming off for England, and he's going to be replaced by Kieran Dyer. Obviously 3-0 up after 48 minutes is a position that there's no point in taking any risks, but I'd like to think that wasn't too serious a way for Paul Scholes, who is trotting, a little bit gingerly, but at least trotting rather than walking up the pitch. Dyer on to replace him.
Just wonder if Paul Scholes giving that ball away on the edge of the box has maybe preempted that substitution there. He probably would have had it in his mind. I think there was a quote in the papers this week saying Kieran Dyer is ready, so you always felt that he would have had it in his mind to get him on the pitch.
So, 2 second half substitutes for England. Fowler and Dyer both coming on to make their World Cup debuts. Left-hand side of the Danish midfield, Nicholas Jensen just sends a high ball forward, rather than we describe as a fight ball, won by one of the Danes towards the edge of the penalty area, but well cleared by Danny Mills. Out of play for a throw, which will be taken by the men in red shirts. Midway inside the England half, taken from the wrong place, but backwards, so the referee lets it go, and eventually Kieran Dyer can play the ball off Nicholas Jensen. Beckham tried to shepherd it out of play. Jesper Gronkia then pretended to have a kick out of it as Beckham just put his hands down by the touchline but it was big grins exchanged between the two Premiership adversaries, and England have a throw which Danny Mills would take on the right-hand side with 3 goals up with 4 minutes gone in the second half.
Well, it's a bright start to the game in the second half, isn't it? It's England and Denmark both obviously looking to get the goal. That's number one is going to kill the game completely for England, but also maybe from Denmark's point of view, getting them back in it. There's a little bit of a fracas going on there. Danny Mills is involved in it again, and there's no need really for all the players to be getting involved. I couldn't see it as the challenge went in. Didn't look like there was too much in it. I haven't seen a replay of it, Jim, but it certainly caused a stare there amongst all of the players.
Well, he's in trouble. Danny Mills. He's got a yellow card. And the way Marcus Mert, the referee, was just going through some history on it, wondered for an awful moment as though that was going to be red. Rennie Henriksen was the player challenged. He got caught very, very late by Gronkjaer, and his natural momentum really took him into Henriksen. But Mills' demeanour had scowl etched across his face, and the left boot was high. Henriksen, by no means the guilty party, then had a little kick in the back from Gronkjaer for his pains, Danny Mills. And Gravesen and Tufting dived in, as you might expect from the Danish dogs of war. Yellow card for Danny Mills.
Well, he got a warning early on for a tackle on Gronkjaer, but I tell you what, that's a very harsh book in there, because I know that he didn't try and stop himself going into the second Danish player, but Gronkjaer was the one who fouled Danny Mills.
England in possession on the left with Trevor Sinclair. Just ran into a blind alley for a moment, but still managed to get the ball back to Sol Campbell. An old-fashioned hoik forward from Campbell, who will certainly remember his 50th appearance for his country. David Beckham's already reached that milestone in this tournament, and 2 others in the England squad, Gareth Southgate and Teddy Sheringham, currently on 49 caps. The ball play from right to left. Denmark in possession with Nicholas Jensen. Jensen, midway inside his own half, then another good ball, swept left-footed by the Manchester City wing-back, out towards the right-hand side for Rommedahl. Rommedahl controls it, ball down the right-hand touchline, and Sol Campbell just let Thomas Gravesen commit himself and make the first touch. The barrel-chested Everton midfielder could do nothing but steer it over the line for an England goal kick. 6.5 gone second half, and we're still 3 up.
Well, we said before the game that Rommedahl on the right-hand side, Gronkjaer on the left, and maybe Sand up front. Thomason hasn't really had a kick. I think, looking at Sand, he's only had the one effort that he made himself, hasn't he? But I think Ashley Cole, up to this point, has played Rommedahl very well. He hasn't shown him down the line because he's got immense pace, the Danish player, but he has shown him inside, and once he cuts inside, I think he's less of a threat. I think if you show him down the outside, he can take you on for sheer pace and whip balls across the base to goal. So it's an intelligent performance, I think, by Ashley Cole.
Long ball forward from the Danish right back, just shepherded by Rio Ferdinand, back towards David Seaman. Remember, this Denmark side, who we're beating 3-0, in their last game, beat the world champions France and knocked them out. We've got Jon Dahl Thomason, who scored 6 in his last 6 internationals, including goals in every game of the World Cup so far. He's hardly had a kick. Take nothing away from this England performance. It hasn't been the most emphatic 3-0 victory you've ever seen so far, but with 7.5 minutes gone in the second half, it has been a very, very mature performance against the side we're expected to beat, which so often is England's Achilles heel. Good defensive header by Mills, thwarted the run of Gravesen, back to David Seaman, and Arsene Wenger in the crowd. Even he, I'm sure, will grudgingly be delighted at the way things are going for England. 8 gone second half, Denmark 0, England 3. And again, we'll try and push forward. Not the greatest defensive touch by Nicholas Jensen, but got enough on it to get it past Fowler back towards Thomas Sorensen.
Well, Arsene Wenger will be delighted with the 2 Arsenal players. Sol Campbell and Ashley Cole have been fantastic, really, haven't they, today? And on this right-hand side, I must say that Danny Mills has been exceptionally good as well. Looks strong, solid, reliable, and disciplined, which is nice to be able to say.
Referee might produce another yellow card as Rommedahl went in with a challenge on Emil Heskey. Just threatened to reach towards the breast pocket. Marcus Mert, that thought better of it and just gives a free kick to England. They're in possession now with Jim Sinclair knocking the ball forward through the midfield. Dyer finds Heskey. Heskey to Butt. Butt swings it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Breaks for David Beckham. Beckham on his right foot. Good play by him. Out towards the left-hand side for Ashley Cole. Ball in towards the near post. Sinclair tried to get there. Still waiting for his first international goal, of course. Couldn't really do anything too decent with it, Trevor Sinclair. And the Danes can pressurise the Englishman on the ball, who that time is Beckham, that goes out of play for a throw. The rain seems to have stopped out there in Nagata. But England still not letting up. The Danes with the majority of possession, but 3-0 down. The ball cleared by Larsen out towards the left-hand side. Jensen with another long ball forward, headed down at the Back by England, Rio Ferdinand, Gronkiar has fouled Mills. It's a free kick which will be taken by England again, well inside their own half, but the Danes have only created one opportunity in the second half so far. Gronkiar shooting high and wide from a decent position. England in total control.
I've seen pictures there of Olsen, the Denmark manager, looking at this game. It must be very difficult for him, because what he doesn't have is any real alternatives on his bench, does he? He hasn't got anybody of real class to bring on. He's got to hope that the players he's got out there at the moment are going to do the job for him. And he knows he needs a goal. He needs it quick. He needs it in the next 5-10 minutes. If he doesn't get it in the next 5 or 10 minutes, it's all over for them. And you'd have to say, even the neutrals, even the Danish people watching on this, you can't see any way through for them at the moment.
Morten Olsen will be thinking of himself and the 102 caps that he won. He'll be looking to his left-hand side where Michael Laudrup's sitting in. He'll be thinking, I wish we were still at our pomp a week ago on, because that is the kind of player that they need, the invention and flair of Laudrup and the defensive stability of Olsen. But they haven't got it, they're over the hill, and Denmark are going home. 10 minutes gone, second half. Denmark 0, England 3. Talksport's unofficial coverage of Denmark against England is supported by the Nationwide Building Society, the proud sponsor of the England team. He's played forward up the right-hand channel by Martin Larsson, and an exaggerated chip over the top. Great defending again by Rio Ferdinand. Let Thomason go up for it. Just stop Rio Ferdinand. Didn't make a challenge. Judged that the ball was going to dip over his shoulder, and David Seaman probably gave him the shout. He picks it up. And England again, untroubled at the back.
For the World Cup, I said that Campbell and Ferdinand were going to play a big part in how well we do as a team, and they have up to now, haven't they? I think there's always going to be a moment, a mistake somewhere, whether it be an individual mistake or a lack of understanding between two centre-halves, sure, in any part of any one game. But I have to say that looking at it, as a fan as I am now, Jim, I feel very confident with that pairing at the back for us now.
This is Kasper Bergeland in possession for Denmark. Forward over halfway, cut out easily by Nicky Butt. Butt running at Gravison and gets around the challenge of Tufting. Still Nicky Butt, good play by him. Out towards the left-hand side now for Kieran Dyer, who hasn't seen that much of the ball in the 8 minutes he's been on as a substitute. Back to David Beckham. Beckham from distance. Drops his shoulder, gets past one challenge, then just holds it up. Back out towards Kieran Dyer again on the England left-hand side. Dyer down towards the corner flag, stops, turns it back towards Beckham. Beckham plays it back through the midfield towards Trevor Sinclair. Ashley Cole then lays it out towards the left-hand side for Beckham. And Beckham will bring it towards the edge of the area. Right finish off from Beckham! And Sorensen, at full stretch, acrobatically tips it over the bar.
Well, now we're starting to see David Beckham starting to look better. And now he's starting to look stronger as the game goes on, not weaker. That was a ball, he got lots of pace on. He must have been 30 yards out. He knew what he wanted to do. It was good possession by England, and he gets so much swerve on the ball, doesn't he, David Beckham? Caused a real problem for Sorensen, who's had to parry that over the bar.
A couple of World Cup goals to his name and his career. David Beckham won in this tournament, and it comes the right-footed corner, which is headed, but not with enough conviction by Sol Campbell. He didn't quite get enough of the forehead to it. It was more of a skipper which went wide of Sorensen's left-hand post. Denmark 0, England 3. David Beckham's effort, England's first real opportunity on goal in this second half, as the Danes are poised to make a change. And Klaus Jensen of Charlton Athletic, who was restricted to just a handful of appearances for the Addicts last season because of injury, he's going to come on to replace Stig Tufting with almost an hour gone. It's a straight swap in the midfield. Jensen for Tufting.
Well, he needs somebody with a ball or a goal that's going to turn something out of this game for them. And Jensen certainly does have a killer ball in him. Tufting really hasn't done anything. He's a destroyer more than anything, and now they need a goal. Jensen, whether or not he's got it, I don't know, but you'd have to say Nicky Butt and the midfield alongside him now, people like Kieran Dyer, Sinclair and Beckham are making it very, very difficult for the Danish players. We're getting the balance right between squeezing the ball and also playing when we've got it, and I think it's an intelligent display again. We've got the goals at the right times, no doubt about that, Jim, but you can see we know what we're doing now. We know what we've got to achieve in the second half.
Beckham bustled out of it and plays allowed to continue. Jesper Gronkiar with an uncharacteristic challenge. He was then caught by Butt. The referee allows play to continue. Gronkiar back on his feet. And this time Nicky Butt just nips it away from him with his left foot and will be able to, with a cheeky back heel, change the direction of play for England. Sinclair gives him a return ball, and England playing with a swagger now. This is Talksport's unofficial coverage of Denmark-England. Coverage brought to you courtesy of our Pioneer television monitors and not from the stadium, thanks to empiredirect.co.uk. The background sound comes from our studios and not from the stadium. Kieran Dyer gets the ball back on the left-hand side for Trevor Sinclair to try and do something with, but it was muscled forward by Klaus Jensen, another one of the balding Danes. Out towards the right-hand side, Dennis Rommedahl tries to take on Ashley Cole. Cole stands firm, and Rommedahl, which is though he may just have lost a little bit of the sparkle that he showed in the first half. Cole could defend that run from Rommedahl easier than just about any in the preceding 59 minutes. Shot from distance from Denmark, spilled by David Seaman, hacked away by Campbell just before Thomason got there. A nervy moment for David Seaman. The grimy conditions won't aid the goalkeeper. He got his body behind it, but it was good defending by Campbell. Still Denmark in possession. Nicholas Jensen on the left-hand side. Mills and Beckham there doubling up on him, and the ball is out for a Danish throw.
Nervous moment though, was a ball that was hit hard and low, and it did bounce just before he got David Beckham. He got everything behind it, hit his chest and just come off a yard. Good defending there by Sol Campbell though.
Dyer with a back pass that David Seaman won't have appreciated. Just tried to stop the run from Thomas Gravesen, and he played it one side of David Seaman, and Seaman had to stretch to stop the ball going out of play for a corner, and you just felt for him that it's the sort of lunge that he had to make that just might do the hamstring or something, but mercifully it didn't. Henriksen down to his left-hand side for Klaus Jensen. Jensen and Nicholas Jensen, no relation. Forward from Nicholas Jensen down the left-hand touchline, chased by Gravesen, and Danny Mills was pushed there. It's a free kick which will be taken by England down by the corner flag. We're an hour in, and we're 3-0 up.
And Denmark are being found out for the team that they really are. I think they're an honest team with lots of commitment, lots of organisation, and hard to beat. But once they go a goal behind, especially 2 goals behind, they don't have real football quality, do they? And that's being found out.
Well, it's a 7:30 kick-off on Friday morning, and those of you who will be at work, rest assured there will be unofficial coverage of England against either Brazil or Belgium here on Talksport from our London studios. 61 minutes gone. Denmark 0, England 3. Being a superstitious chap, hate tempting fate, but I honestly don't feel as though you are in this game, because England are just in complete control. Foul by Nicholas Jensen on Robbie Fowler. A free kick which will be taken by England on halfway. Referee with his yellow whistle, complimenting his jersey very nicely. Tweet from the ref, I guess. Yeah, Beckham plays it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. The referee just wanted play to be resumed quickly. Denmark have been able to bring it away with Klaus Jensen over on the far touchline. Dyer was in there with a strong challenge, then nudged it one side of Bergerlund. Butt is in there winning a 50-50 challenge. Played forward by Larsen, out towards the right-hand side of Bergerlund. Rommedahl dummied the ball, but Sol Campbell read that and got there before Evisand, who has had little chance to show his skills. Gravesen is in there late again, this time on Kieran Dyer. It's a free kick which will be taken by England 5 yards inside their own. With 28 minutes to go, Denmark 0, England 3.
It's important as well. Kieran Dyer gives it everything he's got in the opportunity he's got. He needs to be 100%. If we need him against Brazil, you know, we need him to be able to come on and play a real energy, high-tempo game. It's important that, like you say, he takes that into consideration and gives it all he's got in the minutes that he's got on the pitch. Jim.
Ashley Cole with the throw for England. And then gets a quick return ball from Kieran Dyer, a little bit too quick. Klaus Jensen was in there to knock it away. He's offered more than Turf since coming on. Rommedahl lays it back towards Larsen. Larsen to Henriksen. And Rennie Henriksen will play the ball forward to halfway where Jon Dahl Tomasson lays it back to Nicholas Jensen. A little bit unlucky in his time at Newcastle. Jon Dahl Tomasson consistently played out of position by Kenny Dalglish, and is very much a man who has to play in the hole behind a central striker. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on his Serie A next season. He's leaving Feyenoord to move to AC Milan. Ball played forward from the back by Rio Ferdinand. Chased by Emil Heskey, who tried to roll in behind Rennie Henriksen. David Beckham then got his body in the way of Jensen's clearance, Nicholas Jensen. And it goes out of play for a throw, which England will take level with the edge of their own penalty area. This is Talksport, Denmark 0, England 3.
Looking totally comfortable, you know. Whenever a long ball goes up by Denmark, you feel that Sol Campbell and Rio Ferdinand are going to deal with it without any problem whatsoever. We're passing the ball now, looking comfortable in midfield. Lots of good possession football going on. Possibly need to get into our front men a little bit more, but that'd be picky. I think it's been an excellent performance.
Morten Olsen. Well, he didn't have black hair before this game started, but it's certainly very grey now. It seems to almost be more visibly grey every time you look at it. Left-hand side, Gronkier, ball in from him, knocked away on the edge of the 6-yard box by Rio Ferdinand. This, remember, will be Denmark's first defeat in a competitive game since Euro 2000. Another statistic which really points to the impressive nature of this England performance. Robbie Fowler drifting deep to pick up the ball in midfield. Back for Kieran Dyer. Forward up the left-hand side from England towards Emil Heskey. Heskey just laid it back, ball chipped over the top. Beckham was the player that ran from midfield, but Sorensen commanded his penalty area well, came out to the edge of the box and collected. Ball down for the left-hand side for Rene Henriksen. Henriksen getting it forward through the midfield area again. Now laid by Ebisand out towards Kasper Bergerlund. Bergerlund, the PSV Eindhoven, to his club teammate Dennis Rommedahl. Rommedahl, all right foot shown inside this time. Lays it into the feet on the edge of the penalty area of Thomason. And England defend stoutly again, this time from Ashley Cole. Cole to Sinclair, back out towards Cole. A little bit behind him, and he just had to stop his run. The initial momentum taken out of the England attack, and then given away cheaply by Dyer in the midfield. The Danes inside the English half with Gravesen bringing it forward into shooting territory for him. Some 20 yards out, and the closing down was the poor side of non-existent. It went wide of David Seaman's left-hand post, but he's just giving a few reminders to his defenders and defensive midfielders of the job that they still have to do over the next 25 minutes.
A little casual there, weren't we? Too much space for Gravesen, and there were two runners on in front of him. Sol Campbell decided to leave his one and go to the left-hand side of the penalty area, and one ball through could have actually done us there, but sloppy, it's only been the odd instance.
Now a chance inside the penalty area from Klaus Jensen's corner, and a brilliant defensive play from Emil Heskey to deny his opposite number 11, Ebisand, a clear shot on goal. But the ball was swung in from the right. It was a neat flick header from Larsen, and Sand just waiting for it. No more deadly poacher inside the penalty area on this Danish side, but Heskey was there with a great challenge. Another corner, Denmark's fifth of the game. Deep one this time from Gravesen, over the head of Nicky Butt, and out wide towards the right-hand side. And again, no one picking up the run, this time from Bergerlund, and it was whacked towards goal, and somehow deflected over the top, possibly about 2 yards from goal by Thomason. He's flicked it over the bar, been left, and it could have been in.
There was so much space there for England, short corner, and really, you know, there was too slow coming out. Ashley Cole was the one that come out, and how on earth he hasn't been able to direct that down back into the England goal, I do not know. I don't think he's seen it too late, and Thomason will look at the replay there and think, well, if I'd have only anticipated that was going to fly in, all I had to do was just direct it down, and it would have been a goal for us.
He literally had all the goal to aim at, with the exception of about 2 or 3 feet on the left-hand post where Kieran Dyer was standing, but all he had to do was get any form of downward contact, and it was in. As it is, it was a bad miss, and it sums up Denmark's day. 3/4 of the way through this game, England 3-0. You're listening to Talksport's unofficial coverage of Denmark-England, supported by the Nationwide Building Society, the proud sponsor of the England team. And it is a proud England team at the moment.
I think that's about the only touch I've seen Thomason have as well. He was giving it the big one before the game, saying we're better than England, we'll do it, etc, etc. It's about doing it, not talking about it, and really he's been so insignificant, hasn't he, for Denmark?
4 goals in 35 games for Newcastle. Missed the last World Cup because his form was so bad, needed the move, and did do well at Feyenoord, to be fair, with more 50 league goals in 120 games, but has been poor today. Gravesen's ball passed inside the penalty area, intended for Thomason again, who looked dejected as he failed to get there by a long way, and Campbell could just let it run back to his goalkeeper.
That's where they really lacked there, you know. Gravesen's got a ball, centre of the park, 10 yards outside the edge of the penalty area, maybe 15 yards outside, and if he puts that ball through with the right weight, then it's a chance for Thomason. Thomason really is entitled to look at him and say, look, you know, better quality, that could be in there, but it just shows you, if you've got a Paul Scholes or a David Beckham, they play the same ball, but it's a ball that gets you a goal, and that's the difference really between real quality and maybe just mediocrity.
England's last change is about to be made, and Teddy Sheringham will come on to make his 50th appearance for England. Made his debut against Poland in a World Cup qualifier way back in 1993, and now 9 years on the big stage. Teddy comes on for Emil Heskey with a quarter of the game remaining, cap number 50.
Yeah, sensible play, because we haven't really got the ball into our front two, and I think Robbie Fowler maybe has been a victim of that. I think now with Teddy, he'll come into the shorter area, let Robbie play up front that little bit more as a lone striker, and then obviously Teddy will look to turn on the ball, get the ball into some of the runs of Robbie, but he'll also hold the ball up better for us as well.
The goals against Mexico and Greece, the first for England since April 1998. And the pictures that we're seeing are of England fans doing congas all around the stadium. There'll be a samba on Friday, unless the referee's whistle's got, as the ball was played into Thomason inside the penalty area, and he seemed to be through, but the flag was up, and he mimes some spectacles towards the referee's assistant. Rightly so, because Sol Campbell's played him a yard onside. Bad decision.
Yeah, it was, and I think, Thomason really faced up with David Seaman. Maybe an acute angle to actually knock it past David Seaman. The first chance really that they've had of actually threading the ball through with the right weight, and the run being absolutely well timed. And I think the linesman, as you said there, Jim, has got that one wrong.
David Beckham, 20 yards outside the penalty area. Plays it back to Nicky Butt. Good ball by Butt out towards the right for Robbie Fowler onto his favoured left foot. Oh, it's a great swinging ball! And the header's just over the bar from Sinclair. Great move by England. Out to Fowler. Fowler brought it onto his left foot and in. Swinging ball behind the last line of the Danish defence with Berglund out of position. And Sinclair had a lot to do because it was an awkward height. Threw himself at it. And this header just cleared the bar with goalkeeper Thomas Sorensen nowhere.
Good play by England, wasn't it? Good possession of the ball. Everybody was involved in it. Eventually ended up on this right-hand side with Robbie Fowler. Checked it onto his left foot. A lovely little dink ball, diagonal ball into the path of Sinclair. And like you say, I think he's just done enough, didn't he, the Danish defender, to put him off. He got a good connection on it. Could have flown into the top corner, but unluckily for him, maybe just a foot over.
Trevor Sinclair yet to score for his country. This is 8th international since making his debut against Sweden at Old Trafford. Nicky Butt has given away a free kick in the midfield. We're inside the final 20 minutes now on Talksport. It's Denmark 0, England 3. The Danes level with the edge of England's penalty area. Have it again on the right hand side. Berglund made a run forward. The referee has spotted an infringement, and it's against Jesper Gronkjær, who's just switched play. They normally switch wings quite a lot, but they haven't done a lot of that. They obviously felt as though they could take on Ashley Cole for pace, and Gronkjær might have a better chance against Danny Mills. Only now have they swapped, and it's normal service resumed really, because Gronkjar's given away a free kick for a foul on Ashley Cole.
Well, Romedal, he might have half a yard on Ashley Cole, but I don't think Gronkjar has. And I think we've seen, didn't we, Arsenal versus Chelsea, that duel, he definitely come out on top, Ashley Cole, and you'd always fancy him against Gronkjar. Romedal on this left-hand side hasn't had the ball really, to maybe get at Danny Mills. He hasn't tested Danny Mills' pace once.
Gronkjar wins the throw. Good defending by Ashley Cole. He'll take the throw 20 yards inside the England half. Just rolls the ball behind his back and leaves it for Berglund. Berglund's throw inside his own half. The Danes poised to be knocked out of the World Cup finals at the second round. The second time that they've done that. This is only their third appearance in the finals. They reached the second round in '86, the quarters in '98. And it seems only the second round this time. They need 3 goals in the last 19 minutes even to force extra time. Nicky Butt, brave defensive ball back towards the heart of the England defence, but he nudged it away from the man who's intended. And Sheringham turns it forward, and it was a handball given against one of the Danish midfielders. Gronkjær again, and he's losing his rag, but Gronkjær in danger of just spitting the rattle out at the moment. 18 to go, Denmark 0, England 3. Unofficial coverage on Talksport, brought to you courtesy of our Pioneer television monitors, not from the stadium, thanks to empiredirect.co.uk. Background sound comes from our studios and not from the stadium. Goals from Owen and Heskey, following a very early OG from Danish and Sunderland goalkeeper Tommy Sorensen when he gave us a perfect start, punching a Rio Ferdinand header into his own net. Thank you very much. Morten Olsen might quit after this. We've already seen one manager quit today, Cesare Maldini, the Paraguay manager, the oldest man ever to lead a country in the World Cup finals. Said that second round not good enough and he quit, but in all reality expected Maldini, father of course of Paolo Maldini, the Italian veteran defender, to leave in any case after this tournament. I wonder if Morten Olsen will be tempted as well. His assistant Michael Laudrup's already said he's going into club management in Denmark. No chance that Sven will be going. 17 to go, 3-0 up we are. Ball from Beckham, a good one. Danny Mills with a neat little chest down towards Robbie Fowler. Fowler did well, just rolls past Nicholas Jensen. Not once but twice, got a lucky ricochet back into his path the second time. Corner of the penalty area, then saw his run stopped by Jensen. Trying to get in the way of a Danish clearance, and it goes out of play eventually for Denmark, throw on the left-hand side.
Well, it's really is good football by England. They look totally confident and composed, don't they? Strong at the back, and they're keeping possession of the ball. They're getting the ball into their front men now, and I think it is in total control for England. They're very professional, what I'm seeing here.
Throw to be taken by Denmark. Left-hand side, Nicholas Jensen. Jensen into his namesake Klaus. And he will just control it with his left foot and then get it onto his right. Chip it out towards the right-hand side for Berglund. Gravesen able to bring it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Jondal Thomason pushed by Sol Campbell. Referee happy for play to continue as Thomason belatedly picks himself up off the ground. Trevor Sinclair has it now. Gronkiar fancying his chances of dispossessing him, forcing a hasty back pass from Trevor Sinclair, and Seaman just happy to cart it out of the stadium almost, and out of play for a throw which will be taken on the England right hand side. If on the monitors there, they were showing a picture of an England fan who was smearing herself in white and red paint. And I'm not sure, Al, I'm not convinced she had an awful lot on her top half. I think the body paint was being a little bit too liberally smeared. It's party time out there, no doubt about it. Plenty of England fans all around the stadium. Just one there came into view with Tame written on it, of the Oxfordshire town. Another one with Hull City, and one with TUFC celebrating Torquay visible as well. TUFC in every corner, and the England fans delighted with what they've seen, no doubt about that. But Denmark in possession on the right hand side. The sliding change from Cole puts it out to throw, which will be taken by Denmark, who've now got 15 minutes to set up the most bizarre and unwarranted rescue act almost in World Cup history if they can pull it around from here. They're 3-0 down. Klaus Jensen out towards the right hand side for Gronkiar again. Right footed ball in from him. Callens away off Cole. Since they swapped flanks, Rommedahl hasn't had a kick on this near side, the Danish left. Play ball by Henriksen out towards the right hand touchline. The little ball laid off towards Bergerlund. He'll chip it forward, headed down comfortably by Gravesen. Still Denmark stringing the passes together, but England not letting them go anywhere with it. This is a part of England's play that they have been so good at for much of this tournament. Right-footed cross inside the penalty area, headed by Campbell, but it will break for Rommedahl now, left-hand side of the area. Danny Mills shows him inside onto his favoured right foot. It comes back out towards Nicholas Jensen as England half get it clear. Ball back inside the area, and as it ricocheted, almost broke for Thomason, but Seaman spotted danger and came out quickly. You were looking at Danny Mills when Rommedahl was facing up against him, and you were telling him which way to go, and he went the other way.
Well, I tell you, Jim, what I was thinking is that, no, I wasn't telling him which way to go. I thought, God, that's the first time he's really had the ball at his feet and with an opportunity to run at Danny Mills. 1 versus 1, and in the penalty box. He cut in on his right foot. Danny Mills got there and made the block, and it was good defending by Danny Mills. Like I said, he really has come on in leaps and bounds as an international player.
Might have more work to do now as the deep ball is swung in from the Danish right into Danny Mills' right back position, and Rommedahl will be able to pick it up down by the corner flag. Gets it back inside the area. Good header away by Campbell. A stooping header in the midfield. We'll see the ball break at the feet of David Beckham. Forward for Sheringham. Beckham's former Manchester United teammate. Now long ball forward from Mills, who on his weaker foot is left, and he's just put it out of play for a throw, which will be taken by the Danes midway inside their own half. 13 to go. Denmark 0. England 3, and England now just making sure that they don't do anything stupid and resting the legs to a certain extent ahead of a big game in 6 days' time.
Well, Todd Grip was saying today in the newspapers that we know everything there is to know about Denmark. We watched them even before these World Cup finals. We know them inside out. You can see this is a well-prepared England performance, isn't it?
Dyer gets between two Danish midfielders to knock the ball away. Sheringham then lays it off towards Butt, and Nicky Butt 10 yards inside his own half. Out towards the right-hand side for David Beckham. Yellow captain's armband around his right arm. Mills gets it forward. High ball forward from him, which will be chased by Robbie Fowler. Can England get the 4th goal, which would signify their biggest ever victory in the World Cup finals? He picked up on the edge of the 6-yard box by Sorensen. Sorensen outside his penalty area. Then laid by Larsen. Forward for Klaus Jensen. Jensen inside his own half. Sheringham was there with a challenge, but it finds Bergerlund. Every Danish player getting forward at every conceivable opportunity now, but with 12 minutes to go and chances not forthcoming, you know that they are out. Nicholas Jensen down the left-hand touchline once more. Rommedahl drop deeper, and then just tries this to tease an opening by getting it out towards Bergerlund. Bergerlund with a header back to Gravesen. Long-range shot from Gravesen. You can hit them all day from there, my friend, because that one was 10 yards wide.
Well, that's a frustration about Denmark's play now, and it's a well-drilled England side. There's no space whatsoever. The back four look totally solid. People in front of that back four, David Beckham in front of Rommedahl, Trevor Sinclair in front of Gronkiar, are not allowing him to get the ball with any space to run it off fullbacks. And we look totally solid. Like I say, whenever we break down an attack, we're keeping it for maybe 8-9 passes without really being too worried about getting that 4th goal. We don't look like conceding. I think the clean sheet is important for us now.
Well, that would take us into the quarterfinals, having only conceded 1 in the tournament so far in 4 games, which is up there with the best of them. This is Talksport's unofficial coverage of Denmark-England, supported by the Nationwide Building Society, proud sponsor of the England team. England have a throw after the industry of Beckham, midway inside the Danish half on the right-hand touchline, and Mills will push forward to take it. It is just worth remembering the great deal of inexperience in so many members of this England side. Danny Mills making just his 6th start for his country today. Trevor Sinclair his 4th. You look down the side, Michael Owen, only 22 years of age. Nicky Butt, only making his 4th competitive start for England. He's in possession now as he gets the ball out towards the left-hand side. Dyer, only just in double figures in terms of caps, many of those as a substitute. Here's Beckham. Beckham right side of the penalty area. And he put it straight down the throat of Thomas Sorensen. Really got his hands up and just pushed it down into the ground and stayed comfortably at the second attempt.
Easy football at the moment, though. There's some great play. There must have been 10 passes there. It went to the left. Nicky Butt was involved in a lot of it. And then it come back to Robbie Fowler after about another 7 or 8 passes. And he played the ball into the feet of David Beckham on the right-hand side of the area. Went for power. Couldn't beat Sorensen, though.
Denmark in possession on the left-hand side. 10 minutes to go. England 3-0 up. And in fact, just going back to what we were saying a few moments ago, England have the best defensive record of any of the sides that's still in the competition at this stage. That really is a lot to do with the inspired form of Ferdinand and Campbell. Germany also have only conceded the 1 goal, but have played weaker opposition to get where they are.
Yeah, I think Rio Ferdinand has been probably outstanding in that defence, but you have to give credit to all of them, Jim. It's been a solid back 4. You know, the odd occasion when you're playing at this level with the sort of company that you're in, they're going to find you out, they're going to stretch you at times, and they're going to make it very difficult for you. But Ashley Cole and Danny Mills, I think, have been absolutely brilliant alongside him. And Sol Campbell, you know, as his partner, must take a lot of credit as well. David Seaman really hasn't had too much to do in this game. Probably not too much to do in the last game, but he was worth his salt, wasn't he, in the Sweden game? Made that great save, and he's the experienced man behind that back 4. But I think defensively, England have looked awesome at times.
This is Talksport's unofficial coverage of Denmark against England. Coverage brought to you courtesy of our Pioneer television monitors and not from the stadium, thanks to empiredirect.co.uk. The background sound comes from our studios and not from the stadium. 5 hours since we last conceded a goal, and Denmark had to stick 3 passes in 9 minutes to book extra time. David Seaman picks the ball up inside his penalty area. The game has fizzled out to a certain extent. I'm delighted by that. I'm more than happy that we were 3-0 up at half-time. The second half hasn't been much of a spectacle. That matters not a jot.
I think as well, you know, you'd have to say that Denmark, every bit as good as Sweden, you know, and Sweden were able to put us under pressure in the second half. And maybe I'd like to think, Jim, that we've learned our lesson in that second half of the first game. You know, they got it into the channels. They put us under pressure. We started to lose our composure. We lacked that intelligence in our second half display, but the intelligence word, I think, is being used about the performance all the way through this game. We've got the goals at the right time, but never looked like losing a grip on this game.
Now on the edge of the penalty area, the Danes have a chance. Oh, great challenge coming in to stop the shot. Still Denmark in possession with Rommedahl. It was Bergeland that was denied by a magnificent sliding challenge, I think, from Cole. Now Jensen gets it onto his left foot. Oh, good effort. A good, cheeky, little flighted chip. And David Seaman had to take a step back and just got the hand strong enough to flick it onto the roof of the net.
What a challenge by Ashley Cole. Just moments before this shot by Jensen. It was a shot, an awkward one. I don't think David Seaman expected it. He got a hand to flick it over the bar for a moment before. A well-timed tackle by Ashley Cole. Absolutely brilliant when we needed it.
Denmark with their 6th corner of the game. 3 in each half. In from Rommedahl. Headed away by Ferdinand. Breaks into the area. Bergeland fancied his chances. England just standing off him, letting him get a ball inside the penalty area, but then it was a very poorly disguised chip which was easily headed away by Rio Ferdinand. England clear. Fowler with a little cushion header which asked a lot of David Beckham. Now goes out towards the left-hand side for Rommedahl. Rommedahl running at Danny Mills. Just pulls it back towards the edge of the area. Great play by the referee. Klaus Jensen was trying to shape up the shot, and the referee ran across his line and then ran parallel to where Jensen was running towards the ball, and it broke for England. Thank you, Mr. Merck, Herr Merck. The ball inside the midfield area. Right-footed through the heart of that midfield. Rio Ferdinand just stood up, got his right foot to it, gets it back to Danny Mills, Mills back to Seaman, and England will get it clear. 6.5 minutes to go. Talksport's unofficial coverage. England 3 up. Tomorrow, more unofficial coverage from our London studios. It's Spain against the Republic of Ireland. Monday, we're going to be bringing you the Brazil against Belgium clash. England, of course, will be playing the winners of that on Friday. Another game that you can hear here unofficially on Talksport. While Tuesday, with a 12:30 kick-off PST, it's Italy against South Korea. And that's a game the Italians will not fancy. Denmark 0, England 3. All those games, of course, unofficial from our TV monitors here in London. The crowd noise also coming from our studios and not from the stadia. Denmark 0, England 3 on your unofficial World Cup station. The Danes in possession, 6 minutes to go. Out towards the right-hand side. They just need to be put out of their misery, really. Gronkiar running towards the edge of the penalty area. England just have to stand firm and have the psychological advantage of another clean sheet behind them. Right-footed shot from Momadal. Goes back away from the goal. As on the turn, he's just trying to ping it in. Then it comes back in. Thomason is in there. Good header at the near post to get it away. England making a bit of a pig's ear of getting it clear, but now they should be able to. With Mills, he's just headed it straight to Romadal. Romadal edge of the penalty area. Forced back by Nicky Butt. Then tries to thread a ball through, and Mills made up for his earlier error by tapping it to his left. Sinclair can lay it back. Sheringham gets the clear edge of his own penalty area. Now England can break with a wonderful piece of skill in the midfield. Good turn by Kieran Dyer. Dyer bringing it forward. Beckham to his right-hand side. Dyer continues his run. David Beckham trying to take on Nicholas Jensen, but the Manchester United player thwarted by a man from Manchester City, and Klaus Jensen can chip it away through the midfield for Denmark. Well, that was a good, incisive counter-attack for a moment for England.
Yeah, they followed some sloppy defending. We haven't seen that very often, have we, John, this World Cup from England? Didn't clear the lines and really didn't see much space to Denmark. But what a turn by Kieran down in the park there. Let the ball come up to him, had lots of pace on it, flicked it through the middle of his own legs, and then turned Gravison. He couldn't catch him, then played the ball out to his right-hand side. Unfortunately, David Beckham had it on his right foot, but we didn't have a runner to actually deliver a ball to, because I'm sure if he would have delivered that ball. Tried to cut inside Jensen, and got the ball taken off him.
Denmark push forward down the right-hand side, and a sliding chance from Ashley Cole steers it away for a throw. Foolish, I suppose, with England in such good form at the moment and in the quarter-finals now of the World Cup to talk about 4 years' time. But just think of the embarrassment of riches in the midfield we will have then. Dyer, his Newcastle teammate Jermaine Jenas will be, 23, and what a player he is going to be as a midfield stopper. Scholes, Gerrard, all going for places. That'll be the strongest midfield cordon in world football. High ball inside the penalty area. Rio Ferdinand, who by then might be firmly established as the best defender in world football, heads it away for a throw.
Joe Cole, Michael Carrick, Matt Jansen, the list goes on, doesn't it, Jim? Let's hope that these players who are representing us now are going to give them the chance and the opportunity to play in a couple of World Cups at least.
That's not to malign the likes of Nicky Butt, David Beckham, who will still be in their 20s in 4 years' time in that World Cup in Germany. Here's Klaus Jensen towards the edge of the penalty area, out to his right-hand side, and they've got a semblance of a shooting opportunity now. Not that it matters with quality like that from Gronkiar on his less favoured left foot, and he's placed it over the running track, almost out of the stadium and into the seat.
Well, it's a fashion, isn't it, John, this World Cup, that the big boys seem to be going out. I'm sure that many people would have looked at this game, and maybe we aren't the force that maybe we would have liked to have been before we came into the tournament. Now I'm sure that people will sit up and take notice. Denmark already progressed through that group. The world champions couldn't do anything about it. England are 3-0 up, and I dare say now the expectations will rise on England as this competition progresses. The big game coming up now, and I'm even thinking about it, and I'm even licking my lips thinking of it. Brazil, if we actually get through that one, Jim, then I think the group from that moment on will get not harder but easier, because I think Brazil are the team, the outstanding team that we've seen in the tournament up to this.
Well, aside from the fringes of the top in the FIFA World Rankings, will never have a better chance of winning the World Cup than now. England are 12th. The likes of Mexico are 7th. They will fancy their chance. They've got the States. They will think that Germany are by no means unbeatable, and that could be Mexico in the semi-finals. Sweden will expect to get to the semi-finals as well. So it could be Sweden against England in one semi-final and Mexico against Italy in the other. Is that the way that the draw works? I think it is. Spain in that bottom half as well. Germany against Mexico or the States. Ireland could well knock Spain out tomorrow, of course. 2 minutes to go. Denmark 0, England 3. A left wing corner by the Danes has come to nothing, but they will try and drive it in again from that right hand side of the box. Headed away by Sinclair towards halfway. Picked up by the Danes again on halfway with Rene Henriksen, who could be another in his final appearance for his country. He gets it forward, and it was headed back towards David Seaman. The Danes, I'm sure, will feel as though there's a bit of rebuilding to be done after the manner of this defeat, because they have been demolished at times in this game. Denmark 0, England 3. And the Danes have had 65 possession. You can have all the possession you want, but England have hit them where it hurts. Towards the edge of the box, the Danes have it again with Gronkiar, laying it back towards Bergerlund. Right-footed shot from distance. In fact, it was a deep angle cross towards the far post, and Mills is there to head it away for another corner.
Good defending again by Mills, and you can see that they don't really look like they know a way through now. David Seaman is starting to try and rally them, make sure that nobody switches off. He'll want that clean sheet more than anybody, David Seaman.
One of the Denmark players is down inside the box. It was Larsen who pushed forward, the young centre-half from AC Milan. He will be back in the World Cup in 4 years' time should Denmark qualify. Out towards the right-hand side, Larsen back on his feet, and the Danes push forward again inside the final minute of the 90, and wouldn't imagine there'll be too much time to add on. There have been 4 substitutions in the second half, 3 of them by England, but probably no more than 2 minutes to be added on. Denmark forward towards Klaus Jensen, and the referee deemed that to be a challenge from Kieran Dyer. The only block today, a yellow card for Danny Mills. That's a blow on the referee rather than on Mills. He was a little bit unlucky. Ball towards the edge of the penalty area. Back from Thomas, and Ebisan just tried to get it onto his left foot. Again, space for Rommedahl. Rommedahl with a shot. David Seaman watches it over the bar.
Well, it wasn't a bad effort from Rommedahl there, but we haven't seen anything give his pace, have we, in this second half. He got the ball with maybe 10 yards to run, as Ashley Cole a couple of times, but in the second half. And I think that's down to David Beckham, when he plays on the right-hand side in front of any fullback, as I'm sure Gary Neville will testify. He does so much hard work, Jim, in actually closing down, stopping the supply to that wide player. I think, in the second half, you can see the service to Rommedahl has not been as good as it was in the first half.
Just 1 minute of time to be added on. We're 20 seconds into it. Here's Beckham. Right-footed ball chipped over the top. Sorensen gives his defenders a shout and takes control inside the box. 2 major errors from Thomas Sorensen. England leading by 3 goals to 0, having capitalised on both of those errors. A shot from Emil Heskey should have kept out and giving England the perfect start by pushing the Rio Ferdinand header into his net. Forward from Rommedahl out towards the right-hand side for Bergerlund. Bergerlund to Gronkiar. Gronkiar led with the edge of the penalty area. Pulls it back towards Kasper Bergerlund again. Bergerlund into the feed on the edge of the box of Klaus Jensen. England are there with the challenges. Referee will look at his watch in a moment and see that is time. And he blows the full-time whistle. And England march on into the quarter-finals for the 7th time in World Cup history. A comprehensive 3-0 win against Denmark. The Danes fancied this. They thought that the draw would suit them. They thought they could beat us, but let me tell you, nobody will fancy playing England after this performance. Even Brazil. Bring on the boys from South America, because on this form, at our inspired best, we might cause them some major problems. I can't wait for Friday. The whole nation. World Cup fever continues after England's 3-0 victory against Denmark to put us into the last 8.
Well, never in danger, was it? From the 5th minute when Sorensen gifted us the first goal, Owen got his second on 22, Heskey on 44. End of story. Never ever looked in doubt. In the second half, they came out, Denmark, never looked like making a dent in that scoreline. And when you look at men of the match, it was a team performance, wasn't it, by England? Just give them all 8s. That's what they were. They said before the game, Ericsson, if we produce a calibre of performances, maybe anywhere near the Argentina game, we'll be okay. And they weren't far off it today. Owen sprung into life. Heskey sprung into life. Got their goals. A good team performance. Nicky Butt was as good as he's been all the way through. The back 4 never ever looked like letting Denmark in it. Totally professional performance. Well done, boys.
That was Talksport's unofficial coverage of Denmark against England. Coverage brought to you courtesy of our Pioneer television monitors and not from the stadium, thanks to EmpireDirect.co.uk. The background sound also came from our studios and not from the stadium. Now, the chance to react quicker than any other media, only here on Talksport, are you on the phones and on the air inside 5 minutes of the full-time whistle. The number 08704 20 20 20. You can email us as well by the website at talksport.net. Text us on the Vodafone network at 81089. The number to call 08704 20 20 20. And we're back with your reaction to England's safe progression through to the quarterfinals of the World Cup next on Talksport.
Unofficial World Cup coverage on Talksport, supported by Nationwide Building Society.
Get it!
The proud sponsor of the England football team.
Simon? Shall we, skip dessert and just go straight home?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh! Did you have anything special in mind?
Not exactly. It's just that, well, you're looking a bit fat.
Happiness is a cigar called Hamlet, the mild cigar.
Evening.
Evening.
The moon shines just once on the wolf's coat.
But only when the wolf gurgle is so advanced.
He's the savoury munchkin resisting the UV light.
He'd be in the bassinet saving his money.
He'd want deeper absorption from the windy shins.
Especially when the blancmange is as tremble.
All professional decorators like to keep their trade secrets, and Saddlein is one of them. Saddlein Advanced One Coat has been formulated with high solids for deeper absorption, extra protection, and a finish as durable as a two-coat would stain in just one coat.
I see no peeling or flaking on your danglies.
That'll be because I always flop my danglies for protection.
Oh, you couldn't one-coat mine in the same, could you?
Saddlein Advanced One Coat. It's the poodle's undershafting.
This summer, kick off the World Cup with the special kick-off breakfast at Little Chef. Throughout the World Cup, we'll be screening the games live from 7 a.m. As well as a special breakfast deal, there are also some great football rewards to collect. So from Sapporo to Solihull, from Osaka to Oldham, catch the magic of the World Cup live from 7 a.m. at Little Chef. This summer, forget the big centre forwards. The one to watch is the Little Chef. Only at participating restaurants.
Unofficial World Cup coverage on Talksport, supported by Nationwide Building Society. The proud sponsor of the England football team.
Football First World Cup 2002 on Talksport.
David Beckham left wing corner, and that's what we've got now. And he swings it in, splash bolts go off deep towards the back post. Sorensen lost it. It's over the line. England are ahead. Inside 4 minutes of the game. Another deep David Beckham corner, and Rio Ferdinand sets up the possibility of a Samba quarter-final. The boy Rio, it could be the men from Rio that we're facing next. 1-0 to England with 5 minutes gone. Trevor Sinclair, left-hand side of the penalty area. Options in the centre, plays it short, breaks for Owen, and we're 2-0 up. Michael Owen doubles our lead. A wonderful goal, and we really are heading for that tie with Brazil now. It has been a magnificent start, and less than a quarter of the game gone with 2 goals to the good. Brazil, bring them on. Now Heskey with a chance for 3-0. Brilliant goal! Emil Heskey drives in with pace past Sorensen into the bottom right-hand corner. What a sensational first half for England! Denmark 0, England 3, and this World Cup, as wide open as it is there for the taking for Sven's men. Even Emil Heskey's in on the act now.
Full unofficial coverage of World Cup 2002 on Talksport.
Your reaction coming very shortly on 08704 2020 here on Talksport, the station that gives you a chance to react quicker than any other form of the media. 08704 2020. Let's get some reaction though from Sven-Göran Eriksson, who's been speaking to ITV.
All second half we defended very well, and they had the ball a lot, but they didn't create very much.
Now it's Brazil or Belgium. Which one do you think it will be?
Well, I think Brazil, how they're playing in this moment, they are one of the favorites. Many favorites already went out of this tournament, so Brazil is maybe one. So we'll see.
Okay, millions watching back at home. What hope can you give them? It's open, this World Cup.
Well, it's open. I mean, now we have 6 days before the next game. We have time to rest, recover, healing the injuries, and I wish all the spectators
we want to hear you say you're going to win it.
Nice weekend.
We want to hear you say you're going to win.
Well, we'll see.
Thank you. Thank you.
He won't be drawn. Sven speaking to ITV's Gary Newbon. He won't be drawn and say that, yes, we can win it. But he must know, he must believe that we can beat Brazil, because that game against Costa Rica was a magnificent footballing spectacle, the one that Brazil won 5-2. But if Costa Rica had been anything on the money up front, it could have been about 7-5 to them. They will give England chances.
Well, Heskey and Owen have got the goals. I think that'll do Owen the world of good. I think in front of them, You know, you've got so behind them you've got Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes. Behind them you've got Sol Campbell and Rio Ferdinand. On either side of them you've got Ashley Cole and Danny Mills. I honestly don't think there's a better defence set up in the World Cup, and it will have to play to its absolute maximum, our team. But if it does, Jim, we do have people in front of them as well. I mentioned Paul Scholes. He worked tremendously hard today. Didn't really get too much of the ball. Didn't get in positions where he could open up any defence. But he worked hard. But he has a ball in him to actually give to Owen or Heskey or whoever's up front with Owen. David Beckham got stronger again today. He was still flying in the 90th minute. And Trevor Sinclair is starting to look a real player now. Brought his club form into an international shirt. So which side? Whether or not we're good enough to beat Brazil, I don't know. But I do know that if we do beat Brazil, we've got a chance of winning the thing.
08704 20 20 20, the number that gets you through to Talk Sport. Just before we take your calls, let's go to the Sports Cafe in Haymarket in central London and get some reaction from there. Mike Boville's been drinking the lunch away with some of the England fans. Mike?
It's been absolutely unbelievable down here at the Sports Cafe. Hundreds of people celebrating a fantastic England win. You can hear them. I've got a few fans with me here. What did you think of England today?
That's my God, unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And my first match was 1990, and God, it's absolutely brilliant. It really has. Absolutely phenomenal.
And pleased for the likes of Owen and Heskey scoring at last.
Gosh, I mean, I never had any doubts in him at all. And Heskey, he does not deserve 1 ounce of the stick he gets. He's absolutely brilliant player.
Absolutely brilliant. That's the reaction of the England
bring on Brazil, bring on Brazil.
There you go, bring on Brazil indeed.
Where's Scott Christian said bring on Brazil?
Speaking of Brazil, we got a Scot here supporting England.
Sorry, Mum, sorry. Fantastic game. Had to support England, unfortunately. Scotland didn't make it. So, sorry, Grandad, Granny, sisters, brothers.
Of course, they'll all be listening to Talk Sport.
You know, listen, people will sit up and take notice now of England.
Let's hope so.
You will.
So, come on then, can we do it against Brazil?
Hopefully. I've never seen them so organised. I mean, Owen and Heskey were due a goal, and now Paul Scholes as well. I think we'll win 2-0.
Bring on Rio Ferdinand!
We love Rio Ferdinand. We love Brazil. We love Rio Ferdinand. We love everyone here at the Sports Cafe.
Thanks, Mike.
I think they've been drinking down there.
I think they have, actually. I tell you what, if Brazil are going to beat us, they've got to find a way past Rio. There'll be a few stories floating around on that one, a few plays on that word, but Rio Ferdinand, you know, and that back four will be, you know, if it's at its very best, as you just said, you know, will be some back four to get past, and I think they're capable of dealing with it. I really do.
Let's go to your calls. 08704 20 20 20 gets you through to Talk Sport. First of all, to Herne Bay. We'll speak to Andy. Hello, Andy.
Hello there, Elvin. Elvin, do you remember me from Friday? I did say to everybody out there that the weather was playing a big part in England's match against the Nigerians.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely over the moon with the result today. And Elvin, do you remember me from Friday?
Yes, I do, mate. I do, Andy.
I did say to everybody out there that the people that were slating England, remember, England, you haven't seen the best of them yet, and the weather played its part today, and England got the result that we was all expecting. Come on, England, you can do it. They can take them samba dancers on now, win that World Cup. If they beat Brazil, they're as good as won the World Cup.
Well, I think you're right, Andy. I think Brazil is the big one. When we look at the rest of the draw there, you know, the draw is set up for if we beat them, then we will, I've got no doubt about it, be as good as anyone else left in the competition. Brazil come into this tournament, nobody gave them a cat and hell's chance. Now everybody's saying they are the team to beat, so it shows you how quick things can turn around. And I think Ozzy Ardila said something in the papers today about maybe we haven't reached our peak. I still think there's a little bit more there. I think David Beckham's got another 90 minutes under his belt. Michael Owen's got his goal, and I think we'll get the benefit of that in the next game. We do know it's going to be tough. We know Brazil are an awesome side who've got lots and lots of forward players, creativity all over the pitch. But we've got people, I think, that can give them a real good game. It's going to be a tight game. It won't be a stroll for Brazil. It might be one goal in it. And I don't see any reason why we shouldn't go in there and say, look, let's give it a good go. Let's give it a go. We know we've got to be defensive. We know we've got to be solid. But we also have a few players of our own that can cause problems going back the other way.
08704 20 20 20 gets you through to Talk Sport to Belfast and William. Hello, William.
Hello. Hello, Alvin.
Hi, William.
Alvin, I listened to your commentary. I thought it was brilliant.
Thanks, William.
I just wondered, making man of the match. I know you made Les Ferdinand the last game, the Argentine match. I think Nicky Butt was absolutely magnificent.
Yeah.
He doesn't get excited. He doesn't miss the ball.
Do you know what, William? You know, I was thinking about it. I was looking through sometimes at the end of a game, William, I look at the team as it's written down. I start to look at who played well. It was odd to somebody that didn't play well today, but I think Nicky Butt now plays as if he's got a Man United shirt on. He's no fuss with him, is there? He just gets there, he gets tackles in, he works hard, he's composed on the ball, and now he looks like a Man United player in an England shirt.
And they're not really missing Steven Gerrard because he's playing brilliant every game.
Yeah, well, I think what we haven't got with respect to Steven Gerrard, I think what we haven't got from Nicky is maybe a goal that you'll take from somewhere. Now I don't know if we'll need that somewhere along the line. You know, with Steven Gerrard, he's got the mobility and he's got a similar game plan, I think, going into a game as somebody like Nicky Butt. What Nicky hasn't got is maybe the